Just take it.
Yeah. Oh, I know that wasn't me. They didn't have me on video.
No. Oh, but the other ones
exactly.
that you had all week.
Yeah, plural.
For those of you who do not know, Bandon Dunes is like Golf Mecca West. You know, you have your
game of golf.
You have your Pebble Beaches and all that stuff, but Bandon Dunes is like golfer paradise. I have not yet been. I've been to Bandon. I haven't been to Bandon Dunes.
Yeah, Jason's been spending most of his life in a golfer's paradise.
That's it. That's cool. Yeah. R.I.P. So, it's not. There's no easy way to get there.
No, not really.
You drove, correct?
Correct.
It's what, about 8 hours?
A little less, seven and a half, maybe.
But when you get there, I'll bet you when the trees change and the this and the that and the weather and all that, you start getting excited.
Oh yeah, I get excited the second I leaving to go there.
Really?
Yeah. Whee! And you would have loved the weather, just ideal.
Oh, just cloudy and windy.
Just comfortable. Yeah. Like it was 60.
Oh. Beautiful.
Sunny. We had great weather.
Was it how was the wind?
Bandon.
Yeah.
Like some days it's a grind, like you're just battling through it. Others, we had a couple days that were pretty good.
Now, do you stay on the course at the resorty thing? Do you get an Airbnb?
Yeah, on the course.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, you went for it.
Well, that's what there's a whole bunch of different little things that over the years we figured out there. But yeah, it's on the course at the different places to stay. There's nothing else there. I mean, it's just golf. Like there's no other, hey, did you go out and do, like, there's nothing
golf.
else. It's almost like a dorm in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some cabin type areas and a couple other nicer ones, and that's it.
Did you guys do the one where it's like all four of you stay and you have like a little common room?
Well, there can be, but there was just two of us.
So, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you eat all your food at the?
And they have different restaurants that are attached to each course.
Yeah.
Sometimes we went into Bandon, which there's nothing in Bandon, but yeah.
Did you get the lamb stew?
Did not.
I saw it on a YouTube video once. I don't know. I probably wouldn't either.
Yeah, so there's now 5 full 18s there. 3 the course that you took you get the video from is a par 3 13 hole.
Okay.
And then there's a par 3 19 hole course.
Oh.
Yeah, which is brand new. So we just played that opened like a month ago.
And how many did you play?
Played every course except for the par 3 13 this time.
Okay.
And then we go into town, into Bandon, and play a full 18 on top of our 18, but there's carts there. So it feels like you're cheating.
Is that Bandon Crossing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good track. I have played that.
Yeah.
That's a cool track.
So
much cheaper.
127 holes.
And you pointed that out just so people understand, because at Bandon's perfect. The only issue with Bandon I have is that there's no carts.
It's walking.
You got to walk, and it's hilly.
It's hilly, and it's a bad. Like that's what I mean. It's sometimes you're like, man, it's sideways wind. You're walking uphill. You're like gritting your teeth. You go, I love it. It's just weird. It's a grind.
I don't golf to exercise. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But you get some good exercise in.
For sure. A lot of steps.
That's good.
A lot of shots.
So what was your best shot of the week?
Funny you say that. Second to last day.
Of course.
It was hole 9 of the last 18 I'm playing. And I'm off the green over a little mound. And I can see the stick, but I can't see the hole, And I chip, and I know it's going right at the flag, and I hear it clink, and then everybody kind of goes, "Hey!" And I'm like, "Oh, I made it! I chipped in from." Well, nobody was there from 100, and no, it was probably from 40.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow, that's a great shot
for a 10.
For a 10,
yeah.
What was your worst shot?
Grounders.
Yeah. Ground ball, second base.
Yeah. So it's the way golf works. I know the day before one of the days before I left, you hadn't played, and you went and played with the guy, the group from American Energy.
Yeah.
And you said you were great.
Yeah.
So I hadn't played in 2024, so that's always nervous. But here's where I play the most golf I do all year in 1 week. And day 1 was okay. Day 2 or 3, I was really good. And maybe it was the 4th day. It was like I'd never played the sport.
I hate that.
And I'm like, what?
How did this happen?
Just off the toe, grounders, and then by the end of the round, I actually like really put it together. But there was about 14 holes. I'm like, have I played before?
Right.
What is happening?
See, good for you.
Same guy.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Same clubs.
Yeah.
Good for you, because that's the arrow I don't have in my quiver is if I'm having a really bad round, being able to put it together.
Well,
It's just
I
a
say
sp-
put it together. I just had a better finish.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't have a good score.
Sure. Hi.
But I also went in with the right. I just was like, I don't care if I shoot 400, which
Yeah.
I knew I wouldn't. But it's like I'm in Bandon. I'm away.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it.
You're there to have fun.
Yeah.
So good, relaxing.
And I had fun, and I tried my best.
You tried your best.
Yes.
Now you're back and you're recharged,
Recharged.
ready to go.
The best thing about the trip, the way it was planned, is I was back late Friday night. So then I had Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
That's the best.
Yeah.
You get a nice weekend.
Yeah.
I think I got a text from you, Sunday, I think? Saturday?
I think so.
Yeah.
One of those days.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
So I figured you were back home.
Yeah.
We did our best to leave you alone. I think you got a couple of who are you picking in the streak.
And I think I didn't pick Friday.
Yeah. I know you didn't get ahead either. Sorry.
No, I think I'm on quite a streak.
Well, yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are on quite the streak. And by the way, that's coming up later in the
it is.
Because
how are things here? How did you do?
It was great.
It was wonderful.
It was fun. It was fun. Look, whenever summertime on top of one of us gone is always a whatever. But hey, Chris stepped up and we had a couple of guests and we got through the week. Maybe a little more off the rails than normal, I'm sure. But I think for the most part, we got through it.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a little drama with Sac Republic and Cal Expo. We got through.
About that.
And we changed it.
Yeah, we changed it. We got that done.
Mm-hmm.
The day after.
Within a show.
Really, from start to finish within the show, we got Cal Expo to change their mind. By we, I mean the whole crowd. The day after I reported that talks with Mike Brown were going great and a new contract was imminent, Woj was like, no. Sorry. So
Woj wasn't having that?
Wasn't having that. So we'll talk about that later. This whole thing's weird. It's weird.
It is.
It's weird. And, one thing that you should feel good about, or not feel good about, I know you're not that type of person, but as good of a weekend as you had, Chris had the opposite. And so spotlight on Chris for Laud. You good, man? You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know
what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's a rough weekend for you and your team in the FA Cup.
Ow.
That.
Ow.
You can tell how tough it is on me.
Yeah, it was rough. That's
what happened.
So Manchester United
they just lost.
Manchester
They
United
lost the in-season tournament.
Yeah, they Manchester United played Manchester City in the FA Cup, maybe the most prestigious cup in the world.
Did they get relegated to the regular season?
It's a very disappointing season for Man City, and I don't know which is worse. Which is worse, losing in the FA Cup or the fact that it was to Manchester United? Because that's a derby.
I don't know. It just didn't, like, you just won 4 in a row.
Yeah.
So going into this, it was just like a cherry on top.
Yeah.
And I was watching with a bunch of United people, just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird seeing the other side of it. They are so excited to get.
Yeah, they don't have anything. Their manager's about to get fired. He's won 2 trophies in 2 years.
He didn't save his job?
I don't think he did. Doesn't sound like it because they finished in 7th, which is
you saw what happened to the coach that won the in-season tournament for the Lakers.
Yeah. See you later. So, yeah. Wait, who is it? Why was Jack? Sorry, let me nerd out for it. Why was Jack Grealish on the bench?
He's kind of been there. He got hurt and then never really made it back to the
weird.
You don't bench Jack Grealish.
You can't bench Jack Grealish. All right, so Chris is okay.
Okay.
I was texting him. I honestly thought it was going to be
You were texting him?
Well, not like in a mean way.
No, yeah, it's my first soccer text I've got from him all year was when they're losing to Manchester United.
And what did you say? Are you okay?
I predicted that City would
He did his See, this is what made me more angrier than the actual game. Was him doing his stupid reverse jinx of like, oh, they've got this. They're going to win 3-2.
I thought they did.
You did that?
I thought City was going to win 3-1, which he knows I was being serious about that. Nobody thought United was going to beat them. And then United was up 2-0. And I was like, oh, I wouldn't worry. They're coming back. Guarantee it. They didn't, to my surprise. So, it's fine.
For you.
Nah.
When you guys playing Wrexham?
Who, United? Wait, which team of mine are you referring to? That was a Huddersfield town.
Oh, she.
Hey, we got relegated. What do you want? You beat on us? Who cares? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
It is what it is. Well, it's good to have you back.
Good to be back. Good to be with you.
Good to be with you. We got a really big show for you today. Obviously, we're going to talk about the Mike Brown stuff. There's a lot of basketball to get through as well. And unfortunately, it was also a very sad weekend. Two different types of sad. You had a tragic situation on the PGA Tour, and then a loss that I know hit a lot of people, and you and I pretty hard. The loss of Bill Walton out of the blue. Did not know about it. It's not like you expect these things, but this one got me, man. This one got me a lot, and I know that I speak for a lot of people with Bill. He was he was a character, if there ever was one, and you've had the opportunity to work with him. Mm-hmm. I've had a few brushes with him. We've got a lot of audio for you. I asked Chris if we could. I'm not a Grateful Dead guy at all, but maybe throwing a couple of Dead songs throughout the show. We'll have some audio of some of Bill's billings, if you will. And I was looking for, as we go to break, I'll share this. I wanted to play Bill's favorite Grateful Dead songs, right? And so was texting with Luke briefly yesterday, just condolences, family, all that stuff. And at one point I said, if you don't mind, could you share your dad's favorite Dead songs? I don't think he'll mind me saying that. He texted me last night. I was already asleep at like 10:30. He goes, his answer is always the same. Whatever the next one is. Wait, what is it? Whatever the next one they play is. That's my favorite song. So whatever the next song they play is, that's my favorite song. And that's what we will do for Bill. And we'll get to everything else, including leading off right after this.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on sacktownsports.com.
Vapes and cigarettes are responsible for the excessive amount of secondhand smoke in California.
From our sidewalks to our parks, restaurants, offices, and work sites, over half of Californians are at risk of being exposed to thousands of toxic chemicals.
Go to secondhanddangers.org for an action plan to protect yourself and your family from toxic harm that could last a lifetime.
Because even outdoors, there's no such thing as safe secondhand smoke.
Sponsored by Breathe California, Sacramento region.
Sacramento, Dirk Bentley is coming to town.
Hey y'all, this is Dirk Bentley.
Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends.
This is Bonnie. Take my hand, let me make you mine.
It's Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets before they sell out at CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light.
Let's do it. Leading off, the three top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number one.
Tatum, shot clock at 6. Tatum, step back, puts up another three. Back to the room, won't go. Howard in the offensive rebound. Now the Pacers have to foul. Brown has it, final seconds. That's it, it's over. The Celtics are heading back to the NBA Finals. And another crushing finish for these Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, you got to foul. You got to foul. Well, you got to foul. That's all right.
Yeah, got to find a way to win, man. Every game for them.
Yeah, and there are all kinds of reasons why the Pacers lost the series, including Boston's better and Tyrese Haliburton injured. But in Boston's 4 wins, I believe the stat I saw, the Pacers led in 3 of those 4 wins in the last minute. I think what you're seeing with Indiana and Minnesota is almost the same. and this isn't three for madness. I don't want to steal the whole thought, but this is just blatant lack of playoff experience. When people talk about playoff experience, this is what they're talking about.
Yeah, and then when you go through it, then it's like, okay, the thought is, all right, good, next year. That's just not the way the league works all the time. It's like, is this a blip? Is this a 1 year thing where everything kind of went right for those teams?
Yeah.
Or are they on the start of something? And we just don't know that until they run it back and we see.
Yeah. And look, you can't quantify what it is. It's tough, but just watching Indiana last night unravel in the last 4 minutes. I mean, they had that.
They didn't score for the last, 3.5?
Yeah.
Something like that?
And just turnover, bad decision. You saw that earlier in the series with Tyrese Haliburton towards the end where they had the Haliburton turnover, then you had the inbound. They couldn't inbound the ball. That's just a young team that is not experienced in the playoffs. Plus, you just added Siakam, you know, Haliburton's first go. Either way, we have our first entrant in the NBA Finals.
Yes.
And we are one win away, perhaps tonight, from having both teams sweep their way into the final.
Yeah, and in the end, if Boston wins 4 more games, it's kind of like we did all this to get to what we all thought was going to happen. Yeah. It's been fun, but if Boston does win it, it's like, yeah, it's kind of what we all thought would happen.
I think today's poll. Well, maybe I'll wait. Let me wait until Dallas officially wins. But I'm kind of curious as to who Kings fans will be rooting for. And no, nobody is not an option. Then you just sit out the poll. But if you are taking an active interest in a preference in who's going to win, Ron on the chat right now said Kings fans are rooting for Dallas. I don't know that everybody's going to be cheering for Dallas because of the baggage that comes with that.
Yeah, what would be just from a Kings perspective, what would be the anti-Boston?
What do you mean anti-Boston?
Like, why would you, if you're not with?
Why would you root against?
I mean, it
Boston?
feels yeah. I'm not saying to do it. I'm just. Like, I could understand why you'd root against Dallas. I don't understand why you'd root against Boston. With the exception of that they've done it before.
Maybe they've done it before. Maybe, I mean, there's some people out there that I think are like, hey, Western Conference. Like, you know.
Okay. But, I mean, there's no Kings connections to Boston.
No, I don't think so. I think a lot. Hey, look, if you're rooting for or against Dallas, it's almost entirely Luka centric. You know, you're either
Luka or anti-West,
or anti-West, or anti, Kyrie. Whatever, he's still polarizing, I guess. But there are some Kings fans that are such masochists, though. I get it, and I've seen them. Like, I'm rooting for Dallas. Why? Because I want Luka to win a championship, just to remind everyone involved with the Kings how badly they should feel. And it's like,
they wouldn't remember. They don't get it.
That's what I'm thinking too. It's like I think everyone knows. I think everybody got it. I think it's fair to say right now, whereas the Haliburton Sabonis trade is still up in the air, I'm getting close to putting the nail in the coffin of the Doncic Bagley argument. Now Bagley's still young.
Yeah. I feel like it's still early, but you can make that claim if you'd like.
You know what? It's media, and you have to jump to a hot take as quick as you can. I'm ready to say we should have picked Luka Doncic. I know.
Or maybe got Kyrie Irving.
There you go. Oh, by the way, hey, just a quick note before we get to number 2. Had a fun moment this morning. So our friend Pat from Pat and Tom, he is back today, which lightens up the whole place. Yeah. He's been going through, he said it publicly, right?
I don't know.
I think, didn't he, Chris? Did he say? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, hey, okay.
He's going through some stuff.
And just some health stuff, whatever. And I immediately, while he was on the air, I saw him and I just made a beeline over and I started hugging him. And he was on the air and he was like, thanks, Dave. And then, they finished their bit. And then I went over to try to hug him again. He's like, hey, I got to be a little bit careful. And I was like, oh, really? Oh, no. I'm perfectly healthy. Don't worry about it. But I felt he was very nice about it. But I was like, I just couldn't help it. I wanted to hug him. It's so great to have him back in the building. He's been gone for a while. And, we are all a family here. So love the fact that Pat's back. And that's a perfect segue into number 2, I guess. Not really. Cut number 2, please.
Cut number 2.
6-point game. Doncic with 33. The Gafford screen against Gobert. Tailed by McDaniels. Gafford! Down hard. And a foul. Dagger.
By the way, going back to the Celtics Pacers, I was sitting there with my son watching the end of the game, and I was like, all right, look, we're in bang mode now. Mike Breen's on the call. So if this happens, we are in full bang territory. So I know. So who was it? Was it Tatum? Somebody was it Tatum that hit the three for the Celtics? I think.
White.
Oh, it was White. Thank you. And he gets a bang. And I was so mad because it was like 30 seconds left, whatever it was. And the Pacers had the ball. And I said, I guarantee you, I'm telling you, it's only happened, I think, 7 or 8 times. Pacers hit a three right here. We're getting a double bang out of Mike Breen. Never got the chance to find out. I feel, Jason, had the Pacers hit the three, be honest, do you think we would have gotten a double bang? The rare double bang.
I'll go with no.
No?
Yeah.
Well, you're wrong.
Hmm.
I don't know. Oh, by the way, Mike Breen also has a great story about Bill Walton, too. I don't know if you had a chance to read it or not. We'll share that a little bit later. In the meantime, the Mavs go up 3-0 on the Wolves. This is another example. The Wolves have had, this one was a little more, workmanlike for the Mavs. But the game was there for Minnesota. It's just, oh, man, some of their guys are not doing what they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And Karl Anthony Towns.
Woof.
Yeah. By the way, also on one of my favorite parts of the post game is when they showed the clip of him saying, I take over 1,500 shots a day. And Draymond and Charles, they're like, no. That's, in fact, I think it was Draymond that said, Ernie, do you know what cap is? And they're like, yeah, I know what cap is. He goes, that's cap. Meaning that's what the kids say, like that's not true.
Yeah.
It ain't helping because Karl Anthony Towns, 5 of 18. Anthony Edwards, 11 of 24. When you look at Cat in this series, 15 of 54.
Yikes.
He's shooting 27% from the field.
Well, he called himself the greatest big man shooter of all time.
Well, I will say this. From behind the arc, he still kind of has a point. He's shooting 13%.
Good point.
I mean, you can't really blame it on one person, but meow.
Cat.
Got it. Thank you. Yeah, that's just not great. Lots more on that. Cut number 3 real quick, please.
Cut number 3. Basketball Hall of Famer Bill Walton has died. The NBA announced that he had a prolonged battle with cancer and was surrounded by his family. Walton was a dominant center at UCLA, winning 2 titles, being named Player of the Year 3 times. He went on to win 2 championships in the NBA with the Trailblazers in 1977, with the Celtics in 1986. Beyond basketball, Walton was a truly unique individual. His love of the Grateful Dead, well known, and his big smile, always a welcome addition to our ESPN family. Bill Walton was 71.
Yeah, a couple of much different reasons, but I had not heard that yet. That's always tough when you're trying to break news of somebody passing, especially the magnitude of Bill Walton live on air. Also, I don't know if I can find the clip or not, but I was watching the Schwab tournament live when Jim Nantz came on and just looked like he had been hit by a truck mentally. It was one of those things where before Jim even started speaking, I remember I was making breakfast or lunch or something. I was in the kitchen. I had the TV on, and all of a sudden they came back, and it's just, there's a pitter patter to play-by-play and all that stuff. And I looked up, and I saw the look on Nance's face, and he said something like, well, there was some word to establish that they were back, like, or whatever it was. And instantly I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, what's happening?
What is happening? And then the next minute to 2 minutes, I don't know how he got through it. It's why Jim Nantz is the best in the business. As golfer Grayson Murray passed away at 30 years old. It is an incredibly sad story. This is while play was going on. You had golfers finding out about this in the field. He had played Friday, withdrew after 16 holes, citing an illness, took his life. The family ended up sharing that Saturday, I believe Saturday morning, Friday night, Saturday morning, and then they had to announce it on the spot. I don't even know how you, especially for those that knew him, how you continue. So 2 passings, 2 completely different ways. To be fair, I knew far, far less about Grayson Murray other than just being a golf fan than I did about Bill Walton. We will talk about Grayson a little bit later in our notes coming up at 7:43. But we'll have a couple. We'll have some fun with Bill today. There is no way on God's green earth that Bill Walton would want any. First off, he wouldn't want anything. But secondly, that he would want anything but a smiling, laughing, self-deprecating celebration of the man, his life. He would not want any heads hung low. He would not want a single tear unless it was a tear of happy. I can promise you that. You know that for a fact. If Bill were listening right now on the heaven phone, he'd be like, have fun, make fun, listen, and get high. I mean, that was he'd say something like that. So that's exactly what we're going to do in his honor. So much love here. What? Well,
wow.
Well, Jason,
Welcome back.
And that note, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, a much different Dave and Jason, and we'll talk about the Celtics sweeping the Pacers. We'll do that next.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sacktown Sports.
Spins away from the defender, in the paint, soft floater. That's a great play by De'Aaron Fox.
Hey, Sacramento, it's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hey, this is Carly, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Chicken Minis is the combination of flavors. The first thing I always taste is the honey butter. It gets me going in the morning. The Chicken Minis are phenomenal. The roll is soft and the chicken is crispy. I never had chicken for breakfast before, but they were so good. I told my mom and sister about them, and now they're a family thing. It's the perfect breakfast bite.
Breakfast starts with Chicken Minis and Simply Orange Juice on the Chick-fil-A app. Real customer paid for their testimonial.
Some people just know safe drivers save more with Allstate. Just like they know that's the mating call of a blue-footed booby. And not a green-footed booby. Yeah, some people know that. And they know if you're a safe driver, you can save up to 40% with Allstate. Ain't that something?
Based on the national average premium savings for Allstate customers with a clean driving record versus those without. Savings vary by state and based on how you buy. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store. Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury, For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
It could be a good thing, it could be bad. Maybe it's a doctor procedure. I don't know what it is. It's a great thing, maybe. But part of you realizes that the time between now and when that happens is just a lot of time to build up a ton of anxiety about it.
I guess if it's something, you're nervous about or that could give you anxiety, sure.
So I found out this morning when I got up, I read an email. And I think I've mentioned this before, that this was in the works and now it's official. So I will, unless we can get it to happen on a weekend, and I don't think we will, I will be taking a day off at some point in the next few weeks. And I will be flying down to Los Angeles as part of my soccer duties with a script in hand and my equipment in my bag. And I will be visiting the home of Sir Patrick Stewart to get him to read a couple of scripts for Huddersfield Town stuff for the following year.
Wow.
I know you like Harry Potter.
He did that on purpose. It's not Harry Potter. Like, I could count on two hands the people I would get starstruck by anymore in this world. He's one of them. And
that shouldn't be, you should be excited about it.
I'm 100% excited about it. I am also I'm writing the script and then I'm going down to him. And I've talked to somebody who did it before.
What is this script?
Right. And he's like, oh no, he's great. He's really like the sweetest man. And
I've been Hamlet. I've been Macbeth. And you give me this drivel.
That's exactly what's in my head. That's exactly, you're praying to my demons right now.
Why wouldn't you think this is the best written copy of anything I've ever
laid
my eyes on?
That's the part where it's like, again, A Christmas Story where she gives Ralphie the A+. He reads what I give him. He's holds it to his heart. He's just like, this is the greatest thing I've ever known.
I don't even want to read it.
I don't even want to read it.
I didn't know he was actually Australian.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm just visualizing getting there. Well, hello, Sir Patrick, right? Mr. Stewart. What are the rules? If you're a sir, then don't you call him sir? I gotta look that up. Is it rude?
Where do you look that up?
I gotta ask. Right.
Didn't we fight a whole war so we didn't have to call him sir?
I'm 100% bringing that up too.
Go meet with Sir Anthony Hopkins first and ask him.
Because this is the stuff that literally I wonder, Sir Anthony Hopkins. If you say, good evening, Mr. Hopkins, is that rude because he's Sir Anthony Hopkins? Or are you supposed to call him Sir Anthony?
Hey, Tony!
Hey, Sir Patrick! Then you go in and then I'm there with
say, hey, Patty.
Yes. Hey, Pat. I'm going to call you Jean-Luc because that's how I know he is.
Stewie?
I'm going to be rolling in with my bag into his God knows what kind of palatial estate.
Hit him with this. What's up, P. Stew? You don't mind if I call you P. Stew?
I'm going to call you. What if that's what they called him as a kid to bully him or something? It just triggers it. Get out! I'm rolling in with my bag with my Roadcaster in it and mic. Headphones.
And all the stuff in your bag.
All the stuff in my bag.
Cords,
cords
and stuff.
The Best Buy. You want some Sudafed?
And then it just spills everywhere.
Just everywhere. I plug it in. I get it right. Test. I realize something is not working. Of course, there's this stress of, is this actually recording?
Do I call you Carmichael?
Do I? And then here you go. He's going to read it. And then it's like,
stay for dinner.
Here's the thing. Oh my God, right? I know that it is my job to be like, okay, so this. I had it suggested that you read it and let him listen to it in the tonation you want it read. And I quickly rejected that sucker.
You know this exercise. You have had athletes read things before that some are better at it than others.
Yes.
What if for some odd reason he's not hitting the post?
That's my worry, though.
And you're like, you know what? Let's do that again.
But that's the problem. I don't know that I have it. I 100% know it's my job. If he gets a line, if there's something, it's not a line.
Hey, read this like you care. Have you acted before?
I thought you were supposed to be a voice actor.
Yeah.
Giving us this.
I'm now no longer calling you sir.
Now I know why your last show was on Paramount Plus.
And I'm like giving him all the wrong references. Like, hey, remember when you became Locutus and the Borg took over the Enterprise? Like that kind of passion. And he's just looking at me like, dude, that was 30 years ago. Exactly. What if inside his house we go to record and it's like a mock of where like the transporters were? How great would that be? It's not going to be that.
Do these work?
Are these real? And if he gets it wrong, I don't think I have it in me. It's my job to correct. So next year there's going to be like, we're playing this whole thing in commercials and for the thing. And it's like, onward Huddersfield Town. And if it ends up being people are watching and it's like onward Huddersfield Town, like that's how he read it. I'm not correcting him. Yeah. Make it so.
Maybe you should take me down there with you.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I'll talk about all the stuff that wasn't Star Trek related. How did you get the call for Robin Hood Men in Tights?
You ever see him in Jeopardy? You familiar with that movie?
No.
Oh, that was my first
Jeopardy.
Jeff. That was my first Jean-Luc Picard visual of Patrick Stewart acting. I'd only known him as Jean-Luc Picard. And then he came out with this movie, Jeffrey. And it's all about, he is, how do I say this? He is incredibly flamboyant in the movie Jeffrey. And it was not Jean-Luc Picard in any way. Some people are always that character.
Yeah.
He was not that character. Anyways, so I will have a full report when that happens. Jason, do you want to go?
Sure.
Just go to.
I'll bring snacks.
Be emotional support. Yes, bring snacks. No, that can't work either. Because like, what if you guys bond? And I'm just sitting there on the sideline, like you bring something. I think you guys are like best. And he's like, we leave. And he's like, Jason, here's my phone number. Let's
play chess.
Yeah, let's play chess. Yeah.
Or if it was all three of us and we're lining up, or it's great to meet you. He's like, oh, it was a pleasure. Here's my number anytime. Oh, it was a pleasure. Here's my number anytime. Thank you, David.
Thank you, David. Yeah. No, yes.
See yourself out.
It's like the Key and Peele skit when he played Barack Obama and the different handshakes he was giving to different people. That's how it is. That's how it would be.
Chris, I'm glad we had that 4-hour talk about American Dad.
Yeah.
Dave, please fight the urge to go full Chris Farley show. Trust me, that's happening. That's
you can't help yourself.
100. I'm going to probably explode from trying to restrain myself from asking things.
Good thing he wasn't in West Wing.
Okay, because remember I said I could count on two hands? So Jean-Luc Picard, Sir Patrick Stewart's one. Holy God. Martin Sheen, forget. I probably wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't be able to do it. Because all I would do, because I am a wingnut, like 100% a wingnut. That's all it would be. Although I feel like Martin would be kind of cool about it. But then there also might be some times where Martin gives you the 1,000-yard stare and you're going back to Apocalypse Now and you're like, I'm good on all that. Yeah. Boston swept the Pacers.
Ask him about that.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a big Celtics Pacers guy. We'll get some sound from Rick Carlisle later. He had a Bill Walton story, how Bill helped him the dating world, if you will. We'll have a lot more on this later as well. But Boston has momentum, Jason. Boston is now 12-2 in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to that in 3 for Madness as well, but it kind of makes you wonder, are we underrating the Celtics weirdly? Like, have the Celtics done anything to dispel the idea that they are the favorites to win the championship?
No.
I don't feel like they have. And by the way, Porzingis is coming back.
Right.
And we're going to be in trouble. Hey, nah. Porzingis is back. We'll take a break. We'll get back to more of that later when we come back. Safe or Out baseball edition. As always, a big loss for baseball over the weekend and a great loss for baseball over the weekend. We'll get to all that next.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Welcome to the May Springtime Sales Event at Kia of Vacaville, where we're celebrating the arrival of a new season with unbeatable lease options on our 2024 lineup. As May blossoms with possibilities, it's the perfect time to immerse yourself in the exhilarating world of Kia, highlighted by the luxurious and versatile Kia Telluride. Throughout the May Springtime Sales Event, Kia of Vacaville is thrilled to showcase our top models with irresistible lease offers. Experience the thrill of driving the all-new Kia Sportage, seamlessly blending captivating design with dynamic performance. Dive into the impressive fuel efficiency of the Kia Niro, a hybrid marvel designed to extend your adventures. Embrace the essence of spring with our eco-friendly Kia hybrid options, specifically tailored for those who prioritize efficiency without compromising on style. With the EV9 in stock, Kia of Vacaville stands as your premier destination for electric excitement. Model availability, lease options, and features may vary. Please visit Kia of Vacaville for more details.
What is Subcontractors United? It's a list of 3 pre-qualified and licensed contractors in over 40 trades to help with your home project needs. From cabinets to heating and air to landscapers and everything in between, Subcontractors United makes finding qualified contractors free and easy with no accounts to set up. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today and experience the joy of stress-free home improvement. Save time and money at subcontractorsunited.com.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
My father was a career United States Air Force pilot, and Memorial Day is a reminder of all he and so many others did for our country. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now at the annual Memorial Day sale, everything in the store is on sale. Everything. You'll save 10 to 25% on all living rooms, to sofas, to sectionals, to dining rooms, to bedrooms, to home offices, and so much more. Everything is on sale right now at Naturewood Home Furnishings Memorial Day sale. Whether you're looking to lighten the mood in your living room, brighten up your bedroom, or tighten up your home office, it's all available for you at savings from 10 to 25% at Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop the area's best selection of quality furniture at Naturewood Home Furnishing, off Highway 50 in Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Safe or out? It's time to go around baseball. 3 pitches, 3 swings. It's safe or out on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
All right, coming up 7 a.m., that's 14 minutes from now, we'll talk about this Mike Brown thing. The first sub-note I have under Mike Brown contract talks reportedly breakdown is WTF. The second note is why. The third note is what, but spelled W-U-T, so it's contemporary. By the way, just real quick, speaking of the whole England thing, I found out over the weekend. So, like, you know how, like, they don't have backyards, they call them gardens. Like, sitting in an English garden, I always thought was John Lennon sitting in, like, amongst tomatoes, but, and so it's like, well, what do you call your garden then? Like, if you have a garden in your garden, what do you call your garden? And apparently you call it a veg patch. This is why they lost the war.
Never think of Olive Garden the same.
Thank you. Because to them, it's Olive Backyard.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought of that, Jason Ross. Is Savage Garden? Is that just Savage Backyard to them?
Yeah.
Did you think it was Savage Fruits and Vegetables?
Right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. But their whole thing is like, well, you call yours a backyard. It's bigger than a yard, meaning 3 feet. Like, that's a stupid response, idiots. This is why you lost the war. Again, Cornwallis.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Three
why.
for Madness is coming up later. In the meantime, safer out, question 1.
Safer out. Losing Ronald Acuna Jr. for the season will cost the Braves a shot at the World Series.
I think so. I mean, not for sure, but I'll say safe. He's a superstar.
Yeah, that stinks too. Just
This
non-contact.
is twice in 3 years, twice in 4 years. That sucks, man. He really is one of the best and brightest in the game. That's a huge, huge loss. Now, they might rally around him. Wait, hold on a second. Wait a minute. Uh-oh. Ding, ding. Didn't they win the World Series the year he was out, though?
Is that when they won?
I feel like they won without.
When he was gone?
Yeah. So that might, you know what? Screw it out. They already did. They're better without Ronald Acuna Jr. Yeah. So, yeah, anyways.
Yeah, I would say it would hurt them for multiple reasons. That also, by the way, the Phillies are the best record of baseball in their own division. Dodgers, I know they're struggling right now, but lots of reasons. But losing Acuna, he's just too good.
No, 100%. He's so damn good. And it stinks, man. Like,
losing the NL MVP from a year ago.
I've said this before. I will say it again. These should be outlawed.
Yeah.
Injuries should be outlawed. By the way, the year the Braves won the World Series, I'm saying it was 2021. I mean, I know they've won it multiple times. It was 2021. You know who the MVP was?
For the Braves.
For the Braves. I would never have gotten this. Never, ever, ever, ever would have gotten this. If you get this, God bless you. God bless you.
Austin Riley.
Jorge Soler.
Oh.
Yeah, right? Let's see here. 20. Yeah, he played 82 games that year. 82 games, 2021. I think that was the year he got injured. Hey, question 2, please.
The Giants have won 9 of 11 and now are over 500. Safer out. The Giants are for real and will be in the playoff race.
Your Giants, Dave.
You're out of here.
Oh.
Yeah, out. It's a 162 game season. There's
just a good stretch.
There's blurbs, and we'll see when Blake Snell comes back. Not that he was, all fun and games when he was here pitching, but maybe that was part of the issue. He comes back, could be interesting. They're now 5 back of the Dodgers. They are on a roll, and by the way, should be better. Except stupid submarine-y, what's his face, Rogers, completely blew.
Oh yeah.
That saved. Oh God, against the Mets, that was ridiculous. But as of right now, the Giants are costing me money right now. They are now all of a sudden they're 4 back of the Braves for the 1 spot, but they are firmly in the wild card race along with the Padres, who they are effectively tied with. This is weird. The Giants are 28 and 27. The Padres are 29 and 28, but they're both at 509. Usually, you don't see that. Usually, the percentages are different. Yeah. Anyways. I'm going to say out. I don't believe in the Giants. I believe this is a blip. They're just not that great of a team.
I see it.
I could be wrong.
Yeah. I think it is in this. Plus, I mean, I know they did blow the one that you were talking about the other day with Rodgers, but they also stole like 3 of those 5 games in that stretch where they were dead and they had all these great comebacks. So they're in a better pocket, a better groove. They should feel good about that. If they need to keep it going for a lot longer for me to fully buy in. So at the moment, I'll say out.
Okay. Question 3, please.
Umpire Angel Hernandez is retiring effective immediately. Safer out. This is good for baseball.
It's like manna from heaven, baby. He, like a little bit later on, I'm going to ask, what's the Angel Hernandez counterpart in other sports? And I don't know that there really is one. We can find people close. This guy was like beyond. He was you know the people you might usually find him on social media, but there's some in real life that they're not just wrong about stuff, but they're arrogantly and aggressively wrong about it. Like, that was Angel Hernandez. I don't know him as a human. Maybe he's a good dude. I can't speak to him personally. As an umpire, he's the worst. He might be the worst official in any sport ever in the history of the world, going back to like the Coliseum in Rome. Like, he is terrible, and I guess they worked out a settlement. Good, dude. I hope he got paid. I think baseball ended up he was so bad that baseball ended up probably buying him off. Like, dude, what is it going to take for you to leave so we don't get sued? Can you what's the number? Can we please do it because you're terrible?
Yeah, it goes past the, hey, everybody makes mistakes, give the umpires or refs or whoever a break. They're going to miss some things. The amount of misses and the colossal miss, right? It wasn't like, hey, we're all looking at a strike zone and you go, how are you calling that a strike? Like, where nobody thinks it is. I don't even think the catcher would think it was a strike.
Yeah.
Pitcher didn't believe it. It just, he was way off, and I don't know why that happened, but then it was one of those things, once you got attention on it,
right?
Then everybody starts pointing it out, and you're like, oh, Angel Hernandez again. So, yeah, this is going to be good for baseball.
Thank God. Yeah, move on. And, we talked about it, I think, last week, Chris and I did, and I know you and I have talked about it before, too. Like, umpires don't want to be a part of the story. They don't want to be involved. They don't want to be known.
Right.
And I barely remember, like, I was too young, but, like, in the days of, like, Eric Gregg and one of the Wendelstedts, and back when they had the big old, like, shield, the square shield the umpires did that they'd hold in front of them. Like, there was a time I remember, was this late 80s, where, like, umpires would, like, follow people around. Like, they got way over their skis. And then they went on strike. And I want to say, like, Sandy Alderson was with MLB at the time, and, like, they completely broke the umpires union. And then ever since then, like, all the umpires are just, like, they just shut up and they're quiet and they do their thing. And there's no, like, aggressive Angel Hernandez was, like, the one relic, I think.
Right.
Like, the one guy that would have fit in just perfectly back in the day. We'll take a break. When we come back, the Mike Brown contract talks. Let's talk about what's reported and where we think that's going. We'll do that next.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth. And if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
As a roofer, spring means the start of my busy season, which means I've got to get organized. With help from Beacon, I can save time with Beacon Pro Plus and 24/7 access to live pricing, delivery tracking, order history, and more. Plus, this spring, I can earn $1,000 and the chance to win a $25,000 backyard renovation just by buying my CertainTeed shingles online with Beacon. No purchase necessary. Now that's what I call a spring cleanup. Visit BECN.com for official rules and to start earning entries.
Some people just know safe drivers save more with Allstate. Just like they know a saxophone solo makes any song smoother. See? Smooth. And they know if you're a safe driver, you can save up to 40% with Allstate. Now that's nice.
Based on the national average premium savings for Allstate customers with a clean driving record versus those without. Savings vary by state and based on how you buy. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
In a world where everybody and their mother makes a primed trim board, contractors have to ask one question. Do I know what's under the primer? Available at just about every lumber yard you can imagine. Vintage trim boards are made from lodgepole pine. That's the stuff telephone poles and railroad ties are made of. It's durable. It's straight. It's been doing the job for generations. Manufactured right here in the USA. Ask for it by name. VintageTrimboards.com.
Sacramento, Dirk Bentley is coming to town.
Hey y'all, this is Dirk Bentley.
Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends.
This is Bonnie. Take my hand, let me make you mine.
Paige Dasha, hit your boots, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets before they sell out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light.
You see the TV commercials. Everybody wants this car, the all-electric Kia EV9. Well, my friends at Elk Grove Kia have it on the lot today, and you could be driving it for only $499 a month. That's right, the 2024 North American Utility Vehicle of the Year. The all-electric Kia EV9 can be yours right now at Elk Grove Kia for only $499 a month. The summer sales event is going on right now at Elk Grove Kia and the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Everything, I would love to be driving a brand new car this summer, or maybe even just a car that's new to me. Well, guess what? Your credit won't be an issue out here at Elk Grove Kia. Everyone's approved. And Elk Grove Kia is committed to providing excellent customer service and getting you behind the wheel of a vehicle you're going to love. They go above and beyond the average dealerships. You're not going to find this kind of experience in Roseville or Vacaville or Sacramento or Davis. Only at Elk Grove Kia. That's why they have so many 5-star reviews. Come visit the showroom, see for yourself. Elk Grove Kia is in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Or check out what they got on the lot right now anytime online at elkgrovekia.com. One at this price, $3,500 down, plus taxes and fees.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sacktown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
I never understand what Chris Guerrero is saying anyways, but like we're having this old conversation about I think there should be less people and some people think there should be more people in the world. I know. And but like Chris called me a redhead. What? A redhead? I've literally never been called him. What? My son's a redhead. A redhead? Because I have a little red in my goatee, which is a lot blonder now than it used to be.
Oh, you dyed it?
That's blonde, baby. It's not gray. Anyways, don't be so seriously. Don't be so seriously. That's what I just said. Welcome back. Welcome back and good morning.
You shouldn't say that after you want to get rid of 1 billion people.
Don't be so seriously. Fewer. I just think lines are too long. What do you want? Why is that controversial? Lines are too long. Traffic. Housing.
So we should get rid of cars.
What?
We should get rid of cars.
Why?
So we have better public transportation. Then there'd be less traffic.
Do you want to get rid of cars? I'm asking you.
I don't think it helps.
No?
I think cars lead to traffic.
Well, yeah. They also lead to convenience.
How convenient is it if you're just sitting in it all day because of traffic?
I'm saying, though, I think the balance beam of convenience is weighted for me towards car than whatever. I'll admit, though, I did experience in my little time over there, like they've got the whole public transportation thing down in Europe and then New York. But I think it's like that's how you have to. You can't drive around in New York like full time unless you're a driver, like delivering things. But like, there's people that live there that like don't own
a lot of
cars.
delivery people are on bikes in New York.
That's true. But you also see like, I mean, there's traffic there. There's people that like live there for years and never have a car. Remember the movie As Good as It Gets? Remember how excited they were that Jack Nicholson's character had a car? He had a convertible Saab, I think it was. And yeah, remember those?
Yeah.
SAABs?
Yes.
All right.
It's different for Californians.
Much different because we're all spread out.
We're a driving community.
We are. Leave the driving to us.
You used to get a tin whistle. Now all you get is a picture of a snake.
That was Jimmy Fallon explaining going to a Mets game with Jack Nicholson and Lorne Michaels, and he asked Jimmy what was in his Cracker Jack, and he got like a sticker of a snake, and Jack just looks out forlornly to the field. You used to get a tin whistle, now you get is a effing snake. It was just like written out of a movie, if you will.
Well done.
Okay, so this Mike Brown thing.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to ignore the chat for a second. Mike Brown. So, like, this is weird. It's really, really weird. Let's just start at the beginning. Mike Brown wants an extension. Next year is the final year of his contract, and then there's a mutual opt-out the following year. Opt-in, opt-out, whatever, following year. So he's effectively going into next year like a lame duck, basically, is what you'd say. I mean, the last year of his guaranteed contract. Generally, that doesn't happen with coaches. You either extend them or it's a thing. And what was it? It was early last week. I think James Ham wrote an article that got taken out of context. You could make an argument it was some clumsy wording by him. I didn't see that argument. It's one of the clickbait places. Like, ownership's unhappy with Mike Brown. And I think, again, I'm going to paraphrase James here, but it was something like the Kings losing in the playoffs and not making the playoffs didn't sit well with management, I think is what his line was. It's fine. And then so that got me checking around. And one of the people that I trust very much, who's helped us with a lot of stuff before, was like, yeah, it's in negotiation. In fact, it was even funny. We laughed about the whole David's life is a negotiation quote from David Stern. And like, yeah, they'll figure it out. Like, they want him to stay. He wants to stay. They'll figure it out. Like, it's an if, not it's a when, not an if on that. And so I talked about that the next day of the show. And I want to say it was later that day, I think, I got a call from a guy I know in media that was, I was like, hey, did you see Woj's tweet? I'm like, Woj's tweet? It's like, oh, contract negotiations have broken off. Now, I'm not, it sounds incredibly egotistical to be like, well, it's off of my report that Woj started sniffing around, and it probably was not, but I did find it a little bit strange that happened so quickly.
Yeah.
And it is a negotiation. So after Woj's thing happened, and then I think Mark Stein said something, and I checked again, and it's like, yeah, everyone's saying the truth here. It's just multiple things can be the truth at the same time.
When you hear breakdown, you're like, oh no.
Right.
Now, is it an oh no, or is it just like, hey, we're not on the same page yet?
Yeah. Let's take a break.
In the end, like, if it could be as simple, and I don't have a timetable, but if Mike Brown gets closer to what he wants and gets a multi-year deal and the Kings do that, none of this means much as long as you're not hurting people's feelings along the way, which can happen in negotiations.
Excuse me. No,
because Mike Brown's group should ask for what he thinks he's worth,
and the Kings should try to get him for
less than they want.
less-
I mean,
yeah,
they're pinching pennies, but
and that's where I have a problem with this. That's my big problem. Is that from everything I understand, I think it was. I don't want to put words in Sam's mouth. I want to say Sam reported on it. Others are. It sounds like the range is $9 to $11 million. That's what he's looking for per year, which would put him on par with kind of what coaches are making now. You know, the new coaches being hired, that's kind of the going rate. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, Jason. Front office and coaches, those are the one places you can splurge, and you should. And if we're talking about it, I know that we're talking about a difference of $1 to $2 million. That's more than many of us will make in our lives. But in NBA terms, that's not a lot of money for a team, especially for a team that has increased sixfold in the last 10 years and is owned by a ton of rich people. Like, bro, how many free agents, how many signings, we can go through the list. I don't want to call out any players, for example, but I'm sure we could go through the rosters over the last couple of years and go, oh, that was $5 million. That was $3 million. That was $2 million wasted, basically. That's what we're talking about. Here's the bottom line. Numbers that we all know like the back of our hand. Rick Adelman in 8 years was above 500 for 8 years.
Yeah.
Since 1985, only one other coach has been above 500, and that's Mike Brown.
Both years.
Both years. He is never, ever not finished above 500 with the Sacramento Kings, and that's something only one other coach has done. So do you want reasons to re-sign Mike Brown and extend him? I'll give you a couple. No offense. No offense. All due respect. Ty Corbin, George Karl, Phil Johnson, Eric Musselman. I mean, I could go through the list.
Kenny Nat.
Nat's life, as Timmy wrote. Like, no offense to them, but they couldn't get it done. Now, obviously, rosters were different. I get it. But you have a thing here where you have your GM and your coach that are on the same page, that are working well together. And yes, I was disappointed that we didn't go further in the playoffs last year, and I was disappointed that we missed the playoffs this year. But you still were dealing with almost the exact same record, both above 500, and he's trying to build something, and we all know that stability has long been the issue as much as talent. Worst case scenario, give the guy the extension. If you don't like if for some reason Mike Brown just completely forgets how to coach for some reason in the next couple of years, fire him and eat the money. Don't Kings this. Don't make it a distraction. Don't screw it up. Give him what he wants.
Yeah, I think, like, if we go worst case scenario, like you're saying, so Mike Brown's been here 2 years. They made the playoffs, so they didn't make the playoffs, but both above 500. So if next year becomes a non-playoff year, I think you got a bigger problem than just Mike Brown.
I agree with you.
Because now all of a sudden, I think the belief is they've got a good enough roster to be a playoff team. If you now miss 2 out of 3, I think there's other things going on. You have to roster evaluate, certainly coach evaluate, and you might need to just do a whole new. I mean, that I'm going doom and gloom here.
Sure.
But that's the way sports kind of work. And do you have a good thing? Yes, they think they do. And De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, as well as the coaching staff. You have other coach, like Jordy was taken from the staff because people are impressed with what he has done and what the staff has done.
Right.
They've got a good thing. I think they know it. I just think they haven't landed on the sweet spot of the money that makes both sides happy. That's what I'm hoping this all is. And in the end, if that's all this is, then we just have a little bump and let's go forward. Like I said, this is now being done publicly a little bit, so maybe feelings can get hurt. I don't want that to happen.
No.
But in the end, if everybody signs contracts, then we're good.
That's why I'm not freaking out yet, because it still sounds very much like this is just public posturing. Don't know why it's public, but it is, because reporters are good. Like you said, talks breaking down could also be tabling talks. Look, if we're getting into August, September, or should I say September, October, and this isn't resolved, okay, panic time. A little bit of panic. Not for any other reason other than you can't go into this year with him on a lame duck deal. And if you do, then we're all going to bitch about it. And then hopefully November, December, they come, there's nothing saying they can't come to an agreement mid-year, but it just shouldn't be a distraction. It's all that's going to be asked about in preseason. Everyone, and Mike's going to give the whole, like, I want to be here, and this is the only time I'm going to answer this question type of thing, but it's still going to be this cloud.
Yeah, and from the Kings side of things, I think of it this way. Okay, worst case scenario, we kind of discussed it. They just have a terrible year. You don't sign him. He's a lame duck. Well, you have to look for a new coach and maybe even a new GM at that point. Maybe.
Yeah.
On the, I guess, would be a positive side, Mike Brown kills it again. They're a great team, and you haven't signed him yet? I mean, didn't his price just go up?
Yes, it did.
So I don't.
He's got more leverage at that point. And maybe they're okay with that. Maybe they're like, hey, we want you to, we want to pay you more. You prove it, and we want to pay you more. But again, he's been here 2 years. He's been above 500 both years. That's something you can't do here. That's the Rubicon, man. Don't screw it up. You've had 40 years of being here. You've been above 500 a quarter of the time. Above 500 isn't even like, that's not winning championships or making the playoffs. That's above 500. That's just like the minimum of being not a below average to terrible team. Above 500. If you're Boston and you're 5 games above 500,
they don't even keep track of that.
They don't even care. Us, we're like probably going to hang a banner for it. Like, we finished above 500. Yay. I understand, kind of to your point earlier, like, expectations change. That's sports. You increase your expectations, but can we also just a little bit, like, take a step back? Yeah, it sucked last year not making the playoffs. Yes, I think Mike Brown had not the best year either. I think there were some rotations that were screwy, some subs that were screwy, some second half adjustments that didn't happen. I have no problems calling out some of Mike Brown's stuff, but don't screw around, guys. Don't just, Vivek, this is one of those times where Vivek needs to step in. And the only caveat I would put on this as we go to break, Jason, and I hate saying this because if I don't, we're not doing our jobs. But if I do, it starts crap. And I can't underscore more that I've heard nothing to support any of this. But honestly, the only thing where I would take pause at this is like, is there some sort of rift between Monty and Mike Brown? Is there something else going on behind? Is there a player issue? Is there? And I've heard nothing about, nobody's heard anything about that. Right. I can't imagine that being the case. But I'm saying that's the only way this would be understandable. And obviously, that's very likely not the case. So Vivek, step in. You've worked so hard at kind of rehabilitating the image as an owner, and we've praised him many, many times this year. This is one of those times where ownership's got to step in and be like, what does it take to get it done? Let's get it done. Let's get this out of the way. I'm tired of getting hits.
Yeah.
Let's go. Anyways, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, 3 for Madness, the Celtics playoff experience, and a question about the Indiana Pacers and their energy level yesterday, which was great. And then in the very end, just absolutely, what at the bed. Perhaps they should switch to all electric year round. I will call Rick Carlisle, and I will suggest that. Welcome in, everybody. Good morning. It's Carmichael Dave, and I'm here to talk about my good friends at American Energy. By the way, Jason, the little program we use it's been dead for it just doesn't. It doesn't. Thank God I can memorize things because, it doesn't work. Could you? Oh wait. Hey, Chris.
Yes.
You're management. You find out what the hell is going on with the thing I just turned off on my monitor?
I've talked to engineering and have not heard back.
Wow, that is surprising. Okay, well. American Energy, they actually do work. And let me tell you how. Up to $9,000 in rebates you can get from American Energy. Well, really from SMUD, PG&E / whatever. But what American Energy will do is they'll do all the paperwork for you. This is just a 30-second break, by the way. Just want to give you a heads up on that. No bathroom breaks. You don't have time. Switch to electric year-round. Get rid of those fluctuating PG&E bills. Lower your bills, lower your rates, lower what's going out of your house. And by the way, you've got a more efficient system. There's so many different, well-built and efficient HVAC systems that American Energy can come out to your house for free, do a little consultation, and tell you exactly what they can do for you, what your bills will look like approximately, and how much they can save. 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Yeah, could Mike Brown not coming back have an influence on Malik Monk? That's another point right there. We'll get to more of this later. 3 for Madness in just 30 seconds.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports. 3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
All righty then. Hey, I saw the Dunes over the weekend. Not Bandon. We both had Dune weekend.
Yes.
I saw Dune 1 and Dune 2. I think I gotta go back and watch. I don't know. I didn't get it. There's some kid and does a thing and has a weird voice and friends these people and
they're selling it.
You got it.
Right, and there's special effects and it's kind of cool looking and it's shot really well and I don't know, maybe it's just over my head. I have a hard time, like anytime you're doing like a fantasy thing, like I don't know, it's just weird where like the hero's name is Paul.
I know you like Harry Potter.
It's like naming your dog like how people name their dogs like people names. Like, hey, this is Barry.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, it's weird. No, like, hey, we're all fighting on behalf of Paul. Ralph. So you come back to me and be like, Harry, Luke, hello. I don't know. Harry and Luke just seem better than Paul. Maybe I'm wrong. Hey, everybody gather around Chris or Dave. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
So, anyways, Dune 1 and Dune 2. Your thoughts. 3 for Madness, question 1.
The Celtics are 12-2 in the playoffs, but are they being underrated?
I feel like they weirdly are, but it's just because this group hasn't won one. And everyone's kind of waiting for them to collapse. And look, on top of that, it's not their fault, but they've had about as easy a run as they could hope for. And on top of that, the Pacers, Tyrese Haliburton missed the last couple of games. The Cavs, Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen that were out of the Heat, had Jimmy Butler issues. And, they've been dealing with injuries or injured teams. They're still 12-2 in the playoffs, and they were still the number 1 team. This is starting to feel weirdly, Jason, like a bizarro Denver Nuggets last year. Nuggets were the number 1 seed. Nuggets had the great record, but everyone was still like, I just can't see it. And then next thing you know, the Nuggets won the title, and everyone's like, oh, yeah, well, I feel like that's kind of where we're going to be with Boston is at the end. It's like, oh, yeah, well, it just kind of worked out the way everyone thought it would.
Yeah, I feel like they've been teams and media have been pretty critical of him, really like Tatum a ton.
Yes.
Like what? Why is he getting so much backlash? I think he's been fine in the postseason. In some games, he's been really good. And, the importance of this for Tatum and his legacy, he needs to. I'm like, man, he's been good. I mean, now Jaylen Brown wins the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, but still, I think they've done this and all those other injuries you recited, like they're not getting credit for not having Porzingis. I mean, he's been out. That's incredible. They're well coached. They're a good team. They've won every road playoff game. That's incredible.
That's insane.
So,
and by the way, your point about Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Well, here's what he did in the series against Indiana. Over 30 points a game on 46% shooting, a little over 10 boards, 6.3 assists, a little over a steal a game, half a block. Jason, he's averaging 44 minutes a game. Oh, but maybe that was a fluke.
Yeah.
Okay. Against Cleveland, 27 points, 10.5 boards, over 6 assists, 1.6 steals, a full block a game, He's averaging 41 minutes a game. Like, I understand that Jason Tatum has had moments where he's kind of disappeared. You know who else had moments where they didn't do great in the playoffs? Michael Jordan. And it's the only time I'll ever compare Jason Tatum to Michael Jordan, but I'm saying go through the list of everyone.
Right.
They're going to have some stinkers. The difference is Mike's got 6 rings.
Exactly.
Jason's got 0.
Right.
I think that's going to end here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Number 2, please.
Question 2.
What we saw in the Pacers and what we are seeing in Minnesota, can it just be chalked up to lack of playoff experience?
I think so. I don't think that's 100% of the reason. You can X and O the reasons why they lost. I'm more surprised that Dallas is up 3-0 than I was that Boston swept the Pacers. I think the Pacers were playing with house money. I don't believe they're, all respect to them, but I don't think they're the second best team in the Eastern Conference. I think they got some decent playoff luck with injuries, and I think they played well enough to make it happen. And then they got their own injury issue with Tyrese Haliburton, the head of that snake. With Dallas and Minnesota, that is actually a little surprising to me. And it's almost like you can have letdown games, Jason. Can you have letdown series, after beating the Nuggets the way they did? And now all of a sudden you play Dallas and you look up, you're down 3-0. And in Indiana's case, I think what we say earlier, 3 out of the 4 Boston wins, Indiana was leading in the last minute. Minnesota has had at least 2 of these games, if not 3, in hand, and then just kind of gave it back. Dallas and Boston both have a pretty decent amount of playoff experience. And then you have, and then with Dallas, Kyrie Irving on top of that, who's got a ton. I think that's what you're seeing a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, what is it, 7-0 right now between the two? But I think all the games have, for the most part, been really competitive and really well played. It's just gone the favor of in the East to Boston, who I think everybody would say is the better team. You mentioned injuries to Tyrese Haliburton. Also, Mathurin's been out. Their starting backcourt has been missing, or a key player, Mathurin, for them. So, they did. I think Indiana held themselves up quite nicely. Now, I don't know what that's going to mean for them going forward. But I'm sure lack of playoff experience is part of this, because the mistakes they made in the last 3 minutes of just about every game derailed them. I mean, I wouldn't say they could have swept Boston, but I guess if everything went right, yeah, maybe they could have. I mean, that first game, when they lost the first game the way they did in overtime, it felt like they lost the series.
I 100% agree with you.
Totally unfair to say after one game, but I felt like they couldn't come back from that. Now, they handled themselves well in every game, but they didn't come back from that.
By the way, they lost the last game by 9 points in Dallas. They've lost all 3 games by 13 points combined, including that 9-point loss. This has been an incredibly close series. Just Dallas has capitalized in the end. Question 3, please.
Question 3.
Indiana got swept. Sabonis never got swept at the Kings. Does this mean Sacramento won the trade?
Obviously. I think so. I think this means Sabonis never got swept. Might as well have not even made the playoffs. I think this obviously puts the lid on that. Should have drafted Luka. Kings won the Haliburton trade, right? Jason?
There it is.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's the metric, sure.
Yes.
Why not?
Right?
Yeah, I'll go with yes, too.
Yes. 100%.
Safe.
Case closed, baby. We'll take a break. When we come back, Bill Walton passed away over the weekend. We've got stories, we've got audio, and more. A couple of different times we will remember Bill, and we'll do the first of that next.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It is Tuesday. You're out the door to a comfortable start. Widespread 50s this morning. As we head through the afternoon, mostly sunny skies ahead with a light southwest wind. Highs today will peak in the mid-80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Get a free pneumatic nailer when you buy a pallet of select Metabo HPT nails. And there's more. Save 10% on select shingles when you buy in bulk. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopiers.com.
Hagen Oaks Demo Days is in the home stretch, and this is your last chance to register for an individual fitting appointment with the manufacturer's fitting staff from Ping, TaylorMade, Mizuno, Callaway, Cleveland, Strixon, and Zexio. You've waited many long months for the new golf season, and Hagen Oaks has your new golf gear right now. Book your individual Hagen Oaks Demo Days fitting appointment. Call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for your personal fitting. Hagen Oaks, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway, or Hagen.
To Luke, and it's like the family is doing as well as can be expected. They were a very tight-knit family. Anyone who knew Bill, you know what you're not hearing? You know what you never heard? Those really bad stories about Bill Walton. Like that one guy who had the run-in with him and it was terrible. The one time Bill Walton was in a terrible mood and did it. Honestly, I think the only time you've ever heard anything negative about Bill Walton would probably be during his playing career when he was, a lot of people see Bill Walton now.
Yeah.
They don't realize that Bill Walton was suicidal. Bill Walton was in so much pain and on so many painkillers and back issues. And on top of that, had a horrific stuttering. He had a horrible speech impediment and came off as brooding, as, almost mean, aloof. You heard a lot of those anecdotes from him about him when he played, especially early on. What people later came to realize is none of that was true. He just was very insecure and uncomfortable speaking, and he was in a ton of pain and on a lot of painkillers and living a really terrible life. And then he found a number of things that helped him, including medical and otherwise.
Yeah.
And proceeded to live, I think, we always say sometimes when people do pass away, it's like you kind of smile because they lived their life the best you could possibly. Yeah. There's a big difference.
He lived it his way.
He did. And look, later on, Jason, we're going to talk about Grayson Murray, who took his own life at the age of 30, the golfer on the PGA Tour. That's a whole different conversation. That is tragic, and that is sad, and that is horrible. We'll get to that. With Bill, though, it's like a celebration. Like, how are you going to live a better life than Bill Walton?
Yeah, I think what amazed me is, I knew basically everybody that started to talk about him either on television or on social media kind of it all was framed in just about these kind of words. He's one of one, unique, quirky, likable, gave me the time of day, made me feel important. Insert whoever posted that.
That's right.
And you just go, that's pretty amazing trait that I think everybody who has a story about him could say that. And then what I also marveled at is the amount of, like, I follow obviously a bunch of people in media, and I would expect that. There were other people now I'm going to go like Facebook, where it's not all media people. I'm like, wow, they have a picture with Bill Walton.
Yeah.
They have a picture with Bill Walton. They have a story. Mm-hmm. And so I had no idea some of these people ever came across him ever.
Yeah.
And then I figured, well, okay, probably the Kings. And just that's pretty amazing how many people he touched in some way, shape, or form, whether he felt he did or not, he did.
There's video of him, I think it's from the 30 for 30, where he's like at a random park rebounding for some 14-year-old kid who just says, hey, I'm Bill.
Yeah.
Kid had no idea who the hell he was. I remember a story once Grant told me when Grant was in San Diego and he was like eating lunch or something, beautiful day outdoors, and all of a sudden Bill Walton pulled. This is, I believe, before Bill worked for the Kings. And Bill pulls up and it looks like a seagull crapped all over his face. That's how much sunscreen Grant said he had on. Just covered, just the white nose, forehead, all of that. Bill's a redhead.
Yeah.
Anyways, and he comes right up. He and Grant had maybe met a handful of times, but just came right up. Hey, Grant, how you doing? Hey, Bill Walton. And he always introduced himself like he didn't know who he was. Just full of life. And with everything he went through, I got a couple of notes. I know you're going to share some of your experiences later, Jason, but just everybody has these stories, and I'm so proud to share, this one in particular. My mom, who's currently in the hospital right now, and that's been a popular refrain, I know, for many who've listened forever, but my mom, about 10, 15 years ago, part of it was her back. And I remember having Bill on the show, which I'll get to that story in a second. And one of the things we covered was his back surgeries. I had mentioned my mom, and he said, "Oh, get my, I'll give you my contact info when we're done, and let me know. I can help her." And that's on the air, and people say that.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, I'm sitting there thinking while I'm interviewing him, am I even going to ask him for maybe like give me your email? I don't want to get too personal. Anyways, the interview ends. He stands up and like it sounded like an accordion, just crack, crack, crack. His body was definitely lived in. And he goes, "Oh, do you have a pen?" Or, "Oh, I got one." And he grabs a Sharpie and he writes on a napkin like we were dating or something. He gives me his email and his phone number. I emailed him, and his whole thing was, "Let me know your mom's info, what she's dealing with, and I'll pass it along." So I sent him the email about a day later, and then by the end of the day, there was this whole chain of emails that he sent back to me with a response for a phone appointment for my mom. And I'm looking back at the chain, and I see the one so Bill forwards my email. I'd met him once, and his part of the email was Dr. Johnson, whatever the guy's name is. Want to tell you about one of my dear, dear friends, Carmichael Dave, and his mother, Barb. She is such a wonderful person, the way he describes her, the light of his life. And what I've gone through. And it was just this 5-paragraph email, like Bill was my uncle and my mom was his sister, and just going into this detail over, he's gilding the lily a little bit, and that's fine. And guess what? All of that went through, and my mom got to cut a few lines and get into the doc. And like I said, there's 90 of those stories. Now, the interview itself, I've told this story before. But so the old night show, you might remember Chris Webber's restaurant opening. What was that restaurant called?
Center Court.
Center Court. So, we were all supposed to have, different kings and stuff come through. Chris was actually supposed to be on the show itself, but he'd been celebrating, couldn't come on. This was the night show, and it was about, I want to say, 3 months into the night show, and I was still incredibly I was basically like Frankie or Emil or Brendan, at that point, except with doing the show, but just very young. And We had our little like banquet table set up, and it was me with my headphones, like sitting across, like I'm sitting across from you. And little Joe Pittman was out there to kind of help wrangle guests. And he wrangles old Bill Walton, who during a break, and Joe comes in and goes, "Hey, Bill's coming over. He's going to sit and talk to you." I'm like, Jesus Christ, Bill Walton. So like I call my dad real quick. I'm like, "Dad, you got to listen." I'm listening. Okay, we're about to talk to Bill Walton. So Bill sits down about a minute before, right? And and that's where he got the pen, because he's got he grabs a napkin and a pen. And he introduced, "Hi, I'm Bill Walton." Of course you are. And then he's like, he goes, "Dave, it's Carmichael. Is Carmichael your first name?" Or asking me all these questions. "No, it's Dave." "Oh, okay. Are you from?" And apparently he knew where Carmichael was. "Are you from?" And I told him a little bit about that. Like, this is like a minute before. Bill's doing a pre-interview with me because we'd never met. And then, of course, during the course of the interview, and Jason, you know this from interviewing people, this is something all hosts, I think, notice. If the guest you're talking to refers to you by your first name, there's a sense of like they're engaged and paying attention, and it's a familiarity there. Bill, every answer would be like, "Dave, I'm sure you know in your life, you're so young and so, but Dave, da-da-da-da-da," and just it was so conversational. So my favorite part of the interview is, now remember, I told you, Bill grew up with a speech impediment, okay? And one of the ways he learned to, and as somebody who has a lisp a little bit, I get this, Bill would occasionally get that kind of white spittle buildup on the sides of his mouth. And so I don't remember the question and I don't remember the answer. But what I do remember is that during his answer, I don't know if it was a hard T or a hard P, but he answered and he hit that hard P, let's say, and a white piece of spittle flew across the desk, across the table, and it landed on my lower lip.
Gross.
And I don't think he saw it, but I'm not entirely sure that he didn't. And again, I'm young. He's Bill Walton. I'm terrified interviewing him. I don't want to embarrass him or take the chance of embarrassing him by wiping it away. Here's the other problem. I was desperately waiting for Bill Walton to look away or look down or do anything other than make eye contact with me. When I say that Bill Walton makes eye contact with you, he stares into your soul and doesn't break the eye contact. You are engaged with him and only him and vice versa at the moment you are speaking with him. The interview, shockingly, with Bill Walton, and by the way, this is before we had to break every 7 minutes. I want to say the interview with Bill went about 33 minutes. It kills me. I can't, when we had the purge of all our files, that got lost. My mom might actually have it on the cassette tape. I'll have to look. I think the interview went something like 31 or 32 minutes. I want to say the spit landed on my lips somewhere around the middle. So let's just call that 15 to 17 minutes I spent with Bill's spittle on my bottom lip, which eventually dried. But I was like, I'm not licking my lips. So now by the end of the interview, I'm parched. I haven't drank any water. My lips are dry and cracking. I have Bill Walton spit on my lips. I certainly don't, I need to get to a point where I can kind of, wash a little bit. But God bless Bill Walton, though. And the interview ends, as I said, the whole thing about give me your info, here's my info, blah, 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 blah. So add another 3-4 minutes after that. And you know what? He got up, he shook my hand. And I'll never forget this, Jason. He shakes my hand, this young kid, doesn't know anything, probably did the most normal, goofy interview, whatever, just run-of-the-mill interview. And he goes, "Did you say that you're new at this?" And I said, "Well, we've been doing this 3 months." He goes, David, you have a bright future ahead of you. You are fantastic. Your questions were probing, yet also with a sense of humor. I really felt relaxed and enjoyed speaking to you, and I wish you nothing but the best. And please, you have my information. Stay in touch. If you ever need anything, let me know, and let's figure out your mother's situation. And he smiled. We shook hands. He was just a bear of a man, walked off into the sunset of the crowd. And I felt myself right there going, I cannot believe that just happened.
Yeah.
And Jason, you and I both know there are 100,000 stories, maybe not exactly like mine but 100,000 stories about that with Bill. And the last thing I will add is I told Luke Walton that story once. It was one of the first times after I had gotten comfortable enough, I told him that story. And he laughed so hard, was like, why didn't you? You could have wiped it away and he would have not known the difference. He would have had no idea. I think he said something like, you could have wiped chocolate on your face and he wouldn't have noticed. But the whole time I'm thinking, yeah, okay. So just a terrible loss.
Yes, for sure.
Of a human being. Yeah. We will, way over. Sorry. We'll take a break. And Jason, you got a chance to work with him, to be around him a lot more than me. I cannot wait to hear your side of the experiences with Bill Walton. We'll break. When we come back, we'll go over a few things, including Angel Hernandez and another passing in the world of sports as well. This one much different. We'll get to all that right after this.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
What is Subcontractors United? It's a list of free, pre-qualified, and licensed contractors in over 40 trades to help with your home project needs. From cabinets to heating and air to landscapers and everything in between, Subcontractors United makes finding qualified contractors free and easy with no accounts to set up. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today and experience the joy of stress-free home improvement. Save time and money at subcontractorsunited.com.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
Sacramento, Dirk Bentley is coming to town.
Hey, y'all, this is Dirk Bentley.
Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends.
This is Family. Take my hand, let me make you mine.
Hey, it's Dasha. Kelsey Hart and more. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets before they sell out at CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
When you go off in the middle of the broadcast, do you ever get lost in your own mind and you like almost forget where you are?
I get lost all the time, and
it's unbelievable to listen to. Like people love to listen to it. It's late night on the East Coast.
It's fun to get lost. and it's important to get lost. But getting lost, that implies that I know where I am to begin with. and that's a giant leap of faith.
Not a bad bone in his body.
Nope.
I'd love to live in Bill's world just for a day. Bill Walton passing away, and we'll make the awkward transition from one to the other since we're talking about passings in the world of sports. From Bill Walton and a life well lived to Grayson Murray and a life unfortunately not lived nearly enough. The announcement was made during the Charles Schwab tournament this weekend at Colonial. We talked about it earlier. Jim Nantz somehow getting through it. You had golfers on air telling stories. One in particular was Peter Malnati, I think, that came on and just got through it, but was sobbing the whole time.
Because he had played with him, didn't he?
Yes,
just that day. Yeah,
yes,
or the day before.
Yes. Grayson had played Friday, withdrew after I think the 16th hole, citing an injury. And then, according to his family, took his life shortly thereafter. Their statement said, "We have so many questions that have no answers, but one, was Grayson loved? The answer is yes. By us, his brother Cameron, his sister Erica, all of his extended family, by his friends, by his fellow players. And it seems by many of you who are reading this, he was loved and he will be missed. We would like to thank the PGA Tour and the entire world of golf for the outpouring of support. Please respect our privacy as we work through this incredible tragedy, and please honor Grayson by being kind to one another. If that becomes his legacy, we could ask for nothing else." And I can only take Jay Monahan at his word when he said they reached out to the family and asked if, talked about postponing play, and the family, according to the statement, insisted that Grayson would not want that to continue to play. And they did. They finished the tournament. But Jason, I mean, look, what the hell are we going to say about this? But it just is terrible.
Yeah, and I didn't know, to be honest, a lot about him until you hear about the story. You read a little bit, you hear more. I know he had his own personal things he had to battle through before, and that's the part that is so gut-wrenching. It sounds like he overcame a lot of those other obstacles that were really hurting him personally in his life. And so those around the tour felt like, I know there was a story I saw Keegan Bradley say the other day where he's like, yeah, I was just thinking about him because of everything he had been through. And I was thinking about him earlier this week going, man, he's got it. Yeah. He's got it back together. Yes. And here he is playing. And you just don't know what people are going through, their own individual battles. And you truly never will know.
You never know what other people are walking through. You run into somebody, they're having a bad day. Maybe it's on social media. I'm guilty for getting this all the time. You never know what somebody's going through and why they're saying what they're saying. And, I've shared the story before, Jason, of Len Bias, and how I know there are hundreds, if not thousands, of kids like me that after Len Bias, if you don't know, was drafted number 2 by the Boston Celtics, went out that night to celebrate, did some cocaine, had a heart attack, died immediately that night. I mean, he was 19, maybe 20 years old. And I know there's a lot of kids like me that never tried it because of the memory of Len Bias and what he went through. And in a sense, if that was his legacy, that's a pretty decent legacy to have. God knows how many lives his death saved as a cautionary tale. Obviously a tragedy, but out of these tragedies, if some form of good can come out of it, I guess that's the only positive you can hope for. Now, in this case, this was Grayson taking his own life. And so I guess the only thing I feel, there's nothing we're going to say that's profound and makes sense out of it. That's not our jobs. I would just say this. There is a suicide and crisis lifeline. It's much like you dial 911, it's 988. There may be nobody listening right now that is having any. In fact, I hope there's nobody listening right now that's going through something hard enough, difficult enough to make you want to take your own life. But maybe there is. Maybe there's one person. Maybe somebody listening right now will be going through something later on down the road. And there is a live suicide and crisis lifeline where you talk to a real person. It's 988. 988. You could also text 988 as well. And just know this. You're loved no matter who you are. You're absolutely loved. And, there's options. There's answers. And is what it is. There is no way to segue out of this. Right. We say that often, but there's literally no way to segue out of this. So we will pause for just 5 seconds while I'm vamping to put a space in between, and then we'll go around the world of sports with Angel Hernandez retiring. Thank God. I hope he made enough money to go buy a beach house somewhere and just do his thing.
Yeah, this is a weird one. A lot of times it's like when someone retires, there's a celebration or a missing, because you're also like, okay, I'm acknowledging the greatness of your career. We'll miss you personally out here on the diamond, the court, whatever it might be. And in this case, I feel like this is a celebration for other reasons. People are just happy he's not umping anymore.
Yeah, and I don't wish him any ill will.
Right.
I want him to have a great life, not in baseball in any way.
Yeah.
Have a would actually be the funniest thing would be is if you went into commentating.
Yeah.
Really just go right into commentating.
Right. Or if he took the spot of the umpire on TV saying oh, this is what they're looking at right here.
Oh my God.
And then he was wrong on every single
the Mike
count.
Pereira.
Yeah.
Oh yes. That would be fantastic. Just whatever he says, think the opposite.
Right.
Like I said, I hope he
Can you remember another umpire's retirement?
No.
I remember Joey Crawford retiring in the NBA. In fact, earlier it was, is there a, is there an equivalent to Angel Hernandez in other sports? I don't remember. People had their issues with Joey Crawford. People have their issues with Tony Brothers, Scott Foster. Obviously, Sacramento Kings fans have issues with certain refs, but. The closest I can remember, the only one that pops in my head, and it's not really that comparable. You might remember this. Remember, the first 5 years of Steve Javi's career, he would run around just teching people.
Yes,
his fuse was so short. He was not a great ref, but he figured it out, and he actually ended up being a pretty damn good ref for the rest of his career. But that first 5 yeyears, man,
yeah. You knew you were getting a technical somewhere in that game.
Somewhere in that game. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, hey, halfway through. How about that? Let's get back to Mike Brown. These contract talks going on hold. Why? It might just be much ado about nothing. We've still got the Pacers postmortem to get to. We'll remember Bill Walton some more. Jason's end at 9. But when we come back, let's get to Mike Brown right here on your home of the Kings, Sacktown Sports.
What's the missing piece for the 49ers?
Which names will they add during free agency? Whether it's in season or off season, the coverage never stops. Get the latest 49ers news on Sacktown Sports and sacktownsports.com.
Hey, do you have something from your past that may be holding you back personally, maybe even professionally? Well, maybe it was a mistake that you made years ago. You were young, but it's something that still at this point is following you just to this day. Well, how would you like that removed from your record? A clean start. That's what the Gonzalez Law Offices can help you with, amongst many things, but maybe you need help with something just like this. They do expungements and help you get that fresh start you were looking for. Jonathan Gonzalez and his law offices are right here in downtown, and he's here to help you out. He's local. That's an ideal thing. He also is not just rushing through these cases case by case. He cares. He takes his time. He cares about the results. It obviously is a reflection on his record. And he cares about you because he's from this community. He's right here in town. Now, the point is, if you want someone you can trust and someone that is willing to go to bat for you, whatever the situation you're in, you feel like you're in the need of someone representing you, well, here you go. Go to sacklegaldefense.com or call them at 916-304-9187. Again, that's sacklegaldefense.com, 916-304-9187.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family
They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It is Tuesday. You're out the door to a comfortable start. Widespread 50s this morning. As we head through the afternoon, mostly sunny skies ahead with a light southwest wind. Highs today will peak in the mid-80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
It's been said an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when it comes to a nice, cool summer, it's so true. Right now, get a complete air conditioner tune-up for just $59. Bonnie. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Over the years, some of golf's best stories were about the legendary Ben Hogan. Tommy Bolt once said that Hogan was the only player he'd ever known to get an ovation on the practice tee. He said he saw Hogan playing practice rounds before a tournament where half the gallery was made up of other professionals. When Bolt was asked who was better, Jack Nicklaus or Ben Hogan, Bolt replied, "Well, I saw Nicklaus watch Hogan practice, but I never saw Hogan watch Nicklaus." That's a pretty definite answer. Hogan described the game of golf as a game of misses. He said, "The player who misses best is the one who's going to win." He believed that the first hole was the most important, saying, "Well, if you don't birdie the first hole, how can you expect to birdie them all?" Ben Hogan knew the value of positive thinking on the golf course. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa. My father was a career United States Air Force pilot, and Memorial Day is a reminder of all he and so many others did for our country. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now at the annual Memorial Day sale, everything in the store is on sale. Everything. You'll save 10 to 25% on all living rooms, to sofas, to sectionals, to dining rooms, to bedrooms, to home offices, and so much more. Everything is on sale right now at Naturewood Home Furnishings Memorial Day sale. Whether you're looking to lighten the mood in your living room, brighten up your bedroom, or tighten up your home office, it's all available for you at savings from 10 to 25% at Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop the area's best selection of quality furniture at Naturewood Home Furnishing, off Highway 50 in Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sacktown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
Actually, Jason and I were having a conversation off air. I'll bring on. Jason was on vacation last week for his birthday, having a wonderful golf trip to Bandon Dunes. Mm-hmm. And it's so funny in golf, you know, and by the way, there's some people that love this. Shockingly, I hate it. So you went out with a friend of yours, so it was two people.
Correct.
Which means that there is a chance that you're looking to have this week. Bandon ain't cheap to play.
Right.
So you're spending all this money. And only in golf could you be paired up with two other people.
The game of golf.
For the next 4 to 5 hours of your life. You've never met them before.
Yeah.
You don't, and sometimes it's great.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's not.
Correct.
And sounds like you lucked out a little bit. That's always the biggest fear to me, though, which is why I almost always play golf. I got to have 4 people.
Know the people you're with.
I got to know the people I'm with, because I want to be paired up with some schmo weirdo who takes 9 years to hit every shot, and then I just get nervous and it's not fun.
I think it happened twice in the scheduled tee times we had. There was one where we were literally there, and they said, "Oh, you're paired with these two other guys." Like, that's fine. And they said, yeah, it's actually open right now. So you're going to be next up on the tee. And we went, wait, it's open right now? And they said, oh, if you want to go out right now, like right now, you could just be the twosome. Like, yeah, let's go. Like no warm. It was like, okay, let's just go. Let's just get out. And then, so that happened 2 different times. So it was great.
That
so
is
like, then you're just like, hey, just 2 people.
Right. And that's
and
the best.
we're not doing it. We're like, hey, you're recording everything for a handicap. It's like, yeah, hit another one. We paid the money. It's like,
yeah.
And sometimes I like to hit another one, even if I'm playing the first ball, but I know I could hit that better. So I'm just going to hit it. I want to hit another shot.
Right.
But I'm still playing.
And I'll say this because I know it, and just to throw it in there for those who don't realize it, though, obviously, and of course, we're all making, because I do the same thing. You're always making sure that there's nobody behind you waiting.
Oh,
either.
of course.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know that.
Yeah,
I just want to throw that in there because,
if
that's the case, you don't do that. Before we get to Mike Brown, another Bill Walton story, very quick. This is from our friend Mike Breen. He of Bang fame, the number one TV commentator, or should I say play-by-play guy for the NBA. And Mike Breen is about as level-headed and chill as it gets. But the quote starts here. I'll fight anybody to the death who says anything bad about Bill Walton. And here's the reason why. I've told this story maybe 20 times, and 18 of them I wind up crying. John Breen had started exhibiting signs of Parkinson's, and by 2008 had also started to withdraw, not wanting to ask for help or be seen as weak. My brother called me, Mike said, and said, did you know the USS Midway is stationed in San Diego? Mike Breen's dad, who had Parkinson's, had served on the Midway, but hadn't seen it since his discharge in 1955. They decided to go see the vessel, which had been turned into a museum while their father could still travel. Breen called Walton, who lives in San Diego, to get hotel recommendations. Bill says, oh, that's great, but you're not staying at a hotel. You're staying at my house, Breen said. I said, Bill, that's so nice of you, but I think my dad would be a little embarrassed. To my surprise, my dad actually said, that's great. The Breens planned to buy tickets, but Walton called ahead and informed the museum that he was bringing, quote, one of the heroes that served on your ship. The Midway's commander greeted them personally. Bill walked every step of the tour. Please keep in mind those knees and back. A 7-footer does not belong on an aircraft carrier. If this were a broadcast, this would be the point where someone would slide over a stat note saying, Mike Breen, it would say now 19 for 21. They stayed for 3 days. And for 3 days, Breen said, Bill Walton did not leave my father's side. When we left, Bill was not my friend. Bill was my dad's friend. And it really was like 3 of the best days of his life in those last couple of years. Breen's mother, Mary, who still lives in that house in Yonkers, has a big photo from that trip that her late husband loved. Him and Bill Walton chilling in a teepee. Yeah, he had a teepee on his property, Breen said. During Game 2 of the NBA Finals, the broadcast team paused to mention the passing of Muhammad Ali. He lived with dignity, Breen said, of Ali, who died of Parkinson's, with a disease that leaves you undignified. I mean, that's just chills.
Yeah.
Because that is it. My grandfather died of Parkinson's. He lived with us the last 4 years of his life because my mom was an RN. And I watched my dad's dad just disintegrate. And anybody who's been touched by that disease knows you'd see Michael J. Many people's experience with Parkinson's is watching Michael J. Fox almost, not comically, but you look at Michael J. Fox and it's not a tremor. It's almost cartoonish the way he shakes and has trouble moving around. And anyone who's been touched by that knows that it's the saddest thing in the world to watch that and watch somebody disintegrate. And for his dad to be touched like that by Bill, and just that earnest and legit, like Bill never thought these stories would make it public. He didn't do it for the cred.
Oh, never did that.
Ever. And it just, Bill had a teepee.
Yeah.
I 100% know for a fact that's true.
Yeah.
He has, of course he had a teepee. He probably smoked some things in there, is my guess.
I'm sure he has.
God bless Bill Walton. All right, Mike Brown. These contract talks, whether you hear that they are on hold or they're paused or they've broken down, it sounds like there is an impasse. Jason, maybe I'm wrong. I'm just going to, in the face of the storm right now, where a lot of people are freaking out, and I get it. I don't blame a single person for freaking out and being upset about this, but I really think this is going to be fine.
I think so too, and I don't know. All we know is that they're on hold, right? So is it years? Is it money? Is it both? Is it where's the gap that's not creating the hey, we got it. Here's pen, here's paper, sign the contract. We have not reached that point yet, but is Mike Brown asking for too much money, too much years? What again, what
does too much mean?
Right. And why the reservation? So I really don't understand where Mike Brown, I understand everything from Mike Brown's side of things, I think. I don't know that I understand from the Kings side of things. I mean, are you not certain? Do you think there's a better option? If the reports now, whether or not, I'm sure the Kings wanted to go farther the first year. I'm sure they wanted to make the playoffs this year. If they think that's truly because of Mike Brown, I'd be intrigued by that, because I don't think it is. He's part of it, right? So is Fox, so is Sabonis, but you're saying those guys are enough, and you don't want to trade Keegan, so you think you've got enough. Is it the front office? Is it not adding players? I think there's a lot of things here that seem like you don't want this piece of the puzzle to not go forward with.
I'm curious, just for a thought exercise, and Chris, I'm going to ask your opinion on this too as a Kings fan. I want to be clear again, because people don't listen to whole shows and people take things out of context. And by the way, anyone in digital, if you take this out of context, I'll kill you. Just for funsies. Let's say it's an issue between the front office and Mike Brown, which, by the way, everything I've ever heard from anyone on or off the record says they get along brilliantly. But I'm just honestly curious where the fan base would sit on this. And one has to go. The coach or the GM? Who do you pick?
From the fan base?
From the fan base. I feel like right now, if it's from the fan base, I think Mike Brown's winning that right now.
I agree with that. It may not be a landslide.
I don't think
60-40, something like that.
I think you're 100% correct. Because I think there's a lot of frustration right now with the lack of moves.
Yeah. I think it's timing, right? And more times than not, like, this is the time from here till the start of the season where Monty can catch up and pass.
That's right.
Mike Brown doesn't coach another game in this time.
Correct. Chris?
Brown.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Now, again,
because the biggest thing is, like, he's got more day-to-day experience, and the question is, what can Brown do for you?
Oh, see, he led me right down that path. I was like, wow, this is very interesting and intricate answer. Oh. Now, to be clear, I don't think, in fact, I would bet my house that everything I've heard, the front office and Mike Brown, look, I'm sure there have been disagreements, but work about as good as you can. The problem here that we're not talking about enough is that if we're having questions, well, what's De'Aaron Fox thinking right now? By the way, congratulations to De'Aaron and his wife, Rasay. In fact, really just congratulations to Rasay. De'Aaron, she's doing all the work. He did the fun part. Congratulations. They got another baby on the way, growing that family. So congrats to them. But what is he saying? What is Malik Monk thinking?
That's the important one. That's the one that's got a decision to make.
What are we doing?
I mean, Fox is here, and he could be unhappy, but Monk has a choice to make here.
And God forbid, it's going to be bad enough if Malik Monk leaves. Malik Monk leaves, and they haven't resolved the Mike Brown contract situation. Whether they like it or not, this is just PR now.
We're going to go nuts in there.
Yeah, there's going to be quite a few people that are saying, oh, well, it was the straw that broke the camel's back. Malik Monk didn't know his guy might. Because obviously they have a great relationship. So what are you doing? I mean, you're talking about, and I would ask you this, Jason. Well, I want to ask you. Couldn't we make a fantastic argument that Mike Brown is more important to the Sacramento Kings' success than Malik Monk? And by the way, Malik Monk is incredibly important to the Kings' success. It's a conversation.
Yeah.
You're about to pay. You're hoping that you get to pay Malik Monk $78 million. You're hoping you can do that. you're haggling over $1 million to $2 million, which, by the way, might bleed into not just Malik Monk staying, but other free agents, trades, everything. What are you doing? Every second, the front off, every second, and what I really don't know, and what I'd really like to know, is this a front office thing? I don't think so. Generally, I believe these negotiations happen with ownership, basically,
right.
and the ownership's
agents,
deputies and agents. So what is going on here? Is this a Vivek thing? What are we skimping for?
Well, and again, that's where I wish we knew is the breakdown where Mike Brown wants. We have heard the rough numbers, $9 to $11 million a year.
Yeah.
But what if it's 5 years? And the Kings are like, let's do 3.
Right.
Well, I could see the.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I'm gonna, let's back out of this.
I will tell you why I don't. It's a great point. Here's why I will tell you. I will tell you why I don't think that's the case. Because Adrian Wojnarowski's, not always, but generally his sources are Kings.
Yeah.
I've found through the years that it seems like Shams is more agents, Woj is more team.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say they don't cross over. I think if Brown was asking for an exorbitant amount, I feel like that would have been leaked.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I think like if it was something like what you said, I feel like in that, sources say Mike Brown's asking for 5 years and $15 million per. He wants a 5 year, $75 million. That would have almost certainly been leaked because we've already had terms leak. I think this comes down to, I don't know if it's opt-out years. I don't know what it is. I understand. I'm not saying the Kings should be like 100% gung-ho on Mike Brown. What I've said from the beginning is, dude, even if you're not 100% gung-ho on Mike Brown, you can't screw around right now. And by extending him, you make this a non-issue. And the worst thing that happens is that you're going to have to eat $20-something million down the road while you find another coach. Well, guess what? You've done that so many times in the past. What are you doing? You're screwing with, and you did that with the George Karls and Luke Waltons of the world. You want to do that with Mike Brown? And the way you know that's a stupid idea is the amount of other teams' fans that are like, oh, bring Mike to us. Mm-hmm. We'll take him. We'll take him in Cleveland. We'll take him in L.A. And he's already coached the Lakers and the Cavs, and those fan bases would love to have him back. What does that tell you? I don't like it, Jason.
I don't either.
I don't like it.
Clean it up. Get it done.
Thank you. We'll take a break. When we come back, just a 1 minute break here. I like to use Denver a lot. So do you, as a blueprint for the Sacramento Kings. But what about the 3 remaining teams in the NBA playoffs? Could they be used as a blueprint as well? Boston, Dallas, Minnesota. We'll get to that next.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up! And call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Get a free pneumatic nailer when you buy a pallet of select Metabo HPT nails. Plus, get an extra 5% off every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and
only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Welcome back. Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross, Christopher Law. We'll take you all the way to 9. And then we'll go an hour after.
We'll give him a bonus hour?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's feel it.
Hey, remember when we just went till 9?
I do.
That
was back in the 90s.
Remember when one of you went to 9 and the other of you went to 11?
God, that was so weird. Let me just, I was thinking, I love Styles and Watkins. I think they're the fastest growing show in the world for a reason. And, we're always wondering because they're kind of the, along with our afternoon guys and the new kids on the block, but Whitey's been here forever,
Right.
And so I was thinking over the weekend, like what can we do as the vets at the station to help them, do everything we can. Not that they need help, but just, bring all the people to their show, right? Which is what we want. And I think this isn't official, but I think when you and I are both gone, we're towards the, I think it's the beginning of August. I hope they certainly have the offer on the table to come up and host the show for a week. But here's what I was thinking. You know what would really kind of expose this audience to them, vice versa, and really, I think, be a boost for them? I don't think we have enough Styles and Watkins. So here's my thought.
Okay.
Styles and Watkins, 9 to 2.
Excellent thought.
I know it's a 5-hour block, but guess what? If anyone can do it, they can.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden they're picking up the tail end of the mornings. I would be willing.
I know you would.
To literally give up until September 5th, an hour of our show to help them. And I think that's teamwork.
That is. You think they accept that offer?
I would hope so. I would hope, when you're trying to break through, you do everything you can. I can't imagine they wouldn't. How hard did they work to even break into getting on the air? We all have been there before.
Yeah.
And now you turn down more airtime.
Right. Yeah, Alan was out there at the Republic this week.
Yes, he's busting his rear end.
Yeah.
He's going. They're doing remotes. They're going everywhere and making sure they're seen. They're interacting. They're hustling.
Yeah.
So why would you say no to an extra hour?
Good point. Let's bring it up today. Crosstalk.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of using the Denver Nuggets as a blueprint. You and I have talked about this many times for the Sacramento Kings. Jamal Murray is I think De'Aaron Fox is better than Jamal Murray, but not by a ton. I think Nikola Jokic is better than Sabonis. More than Fox is better than Murray. I think that gap's bigger. But I said before, and people get triggered, he's not Jokic. No, he's not. Nobody's Jokic. He's the closest in the NBA to Nikola Jokic at that center position. Hopefully Keegan Murray is your Michael Porter Jr.,
Mm-hmm.
but then you need your Aaron Gordon. We've talked about this many times. But Jason, what about the other teams in the playoffs, starting with Boston, for example?
Yeah, so I think what they have done is obviously they identified their core pieces, and to them that was clearly Brown and Tatum. And going through this journey, Horford's been there, Marcus Smart, some other people that have been there for this long part of this journey that's gotten to a finals, hasn't won one. But they did something a little bit different this last year, and they made a trade, what I would say is for some stars. And they found that, what are you calling this? The soda summer?
The soda summer distressed assets.
I think that's how they got Porzingis.
Yeah, you're right.
He's a guy that at one point was considered kind of a star, and they didn't have to give up much to get him, to be honest. And then they were on the right end of the kind of the Dame Lillard deal that sent Drew Holiday to Portland, and they're like, yeah, we'll get that. We'll find a way to get him. So they added proven people that have been all-stars before. So they didn't get fringe players. They added 2 high-level talents. So can the Kings do something like that where they find a distressed asset and find someone else to add, or just even one piece like that? That's one way to do it that Boston did.
Marcus Smart, Danilo Gallinari, Mike Muscala, and the number 35 pick in last year's draft for Kristaps Porzingis. And obviously, Marcus Smart was a big piece there.
Yeah, he was like the heartbeat of that team. I thought they would miss him more than they did, to be honest.
I did too, and I think part of it is Marcus Smart barely played this year.
Yeah.
We didn't really get a chance there to see that.
What I think getting Holiday helped fill his role of a defensive player.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think as great as Marcus Smart was in that aspect, I think Drew Holiday is better.
Yeah. And I don't know if you can look up too, this was a year plus ago, they added Derek White. Now that doesn't, at the time, didn't seem like that big of a transaction, but he's gotten better. He's fit them beautifully. And that's a move that's really worked out well for them.
Hey, what if when you said that, what if I was like, I can't look it up?
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't know if you can look it up. The Boston Celtics have acquired fifth-year point guard Derek White from the San Antonio Spurs in exchange for Romeo Langford, Josh Richardson, and a protected 2022 first-round pick. And you look back on it now and you go, oh, that's at the time, I think there were some raised eyebrows at that trade. We're also talking about some duplicate positions as well. But Boston is just they've got their core of Brown and Tatum, and they just really added around it.
Yeah, and they haven't been afraid of the duplicate positions, right? I think Brown and Tatum are very similar, but they're like, okay, I don't care. White, I mean, there's a bunch of 6'5" to 6'8" guard, forward type guys. They'll play small, they'll play bigger with Horford, sometimes Tillman, and certainly Porzingis. I don't think they're incredibly deep, but I think their top 6 to 7 is fantastic.
It'd be interesting to see, like I said, with and by the way, did Derek White make an all defensive team this year?
I'm not sure.
I'm not either.
But then if you look at a team let's go to Dallas, who's still alive and maybe one win away from getting to the finals here, or they are one win away. They identified Luka and Kyrie.
Yes.
Now,
by the way, second team, Derek White.
Oh, good. This year,
pretty
okay.
cool. Anyways, go ahead.
So last year they trade for Kyrie. That's a significant trade. They were 5th when they made the trade. They ended 11th. They missed the postseason. Felt like a complete disaster. There's some they're just going to have to do something different. Well, they ran it back with those two, and this season was going okay. They were doing fine. But I think them at the deadline, getting Gafford and PJ Washington.
Right.
Again, not superstars, but that was an ideal fit for that team while Luka and Kyrie kept getting better. And then it just all of a sudden now they look like it's a well-blended team.
I did not like the trade when it happened. I don't mind going back and not being a revisionist here. I didn't like the trade. I felt like Dallas, a team that had just been to the Western Conference Finals, was giving up some continuity and giving up some depth. If you don't remember the exact trade, Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, second round pick in 27, an unprotected 29 first rounder, and a 29 second rounder. So really, when you look at it on the surface, Dinwiddie and Finney-Smith and a pick, 4 years from now, 5 years from now for Kyrie Irving, that's a pretty good trade for Dallas. My issue was how are you gonna trade? How are you gonna put two guys in your backcourt that both really need the ball?
Yeah.
And by the way, there was a lot of drama coming with Kyrie Irving too, and you just gave up your depth.
Distressed asset.
That's a distressed asset. And what Dallas did so brilliantly, though, see, I don't think anyone who didn't like the trade was necessarily wrong. I think it was incomplete. It was an incomplete take because what Dallas did, you saw how that trade worked out last year. It didn't work out well.
Right.
But then they added that depth back in, the right depth. I mean, they really swung and hit home runs with both those guys you mentioned. Now, all of a sudden, the one thing they've done that I didn't think they could do is that Luka and Kyrie have figured out how to play together. You saw it last night, Luka with this insane fall away. And then I think it was the announcer even said, well, now it's Kyrie's turn. And then Kyrie goes to the side with an insane fall away, falling on his rear end. Both shots went in. You're like, they literally, let's go back to when we talked about John Wetland and Mariano Rivera.
Mm-hmm.
You literally have two Hall of Fame closers on your team, and it's working out right now. And I'll tell you what, if they end up playing, Jason, remember when we talked about at the beginning of the Dallas-Minnesota series, it's generally throughout the years, it's the Shaq and Kobe, it's the Jordan Pippen. Other teams can be more deep, but it's generally the teams that have the top two players that win. Who has the advantage there between Dallas and Boston?
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't either.
I think it's really close.
Fascinating.
Yeah. I would feel like Boston's two are a little bit more complete in the two-way player part of the game.
Sure.
But the dynamic part of the offense might be Luka and Kyrie.
Well, can we start with is Luka the best out of the four, right? Or no? And not by much over Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think you could have a fair argument on both those. Is Luka better than Kyrie? And I know some like, of course he is. I mean, honest, just overall skill level. Luka does more, like his assist and all that and rebound, but Kyrie is so good, so skilled. But same with I think Jaylen Brown and Tatum. I've said that for a long time. I think it's really close. Sometimes I think Brown is underappreciated.
I agree with you, especially defensively.
Because they always go, Tatum's their best player. I'm like, well, now here I'm trying to crap on him because I'm not. He's great, but I think Brown is so good.
That's tough.
But what a good problem for each of those teams.
That is really, really tough.
So I guess the Kings, to the point of all this, is they've identified Fox. They've identified Sabonis. I believe they've identified Keegan as a core piece. Now, it was pretty good a year ago. This year, some different things happened. I think they've got the elements. It's just what are the other steps that can help elevate them?
Yeah, and we still haven't. I think we can table till later, the whole Minnesota thing as well, as far as a blueprint. But it is also an interesting conversation. Also, I'm not entirely sure that, the Minnesota blueprint's a bad one because they're about to get swept or a gentleman's sweep. That again is so tough because you've got that playoff inexperience you're weighing on. Will be an interesting finals if that's the case. Let's not bury Minnesota yet. I mean, probably, but we've seen them do these things to Denver before. I'm not making that same mistake again. Obviously, I'm pretty sure Dallas is winning. I would probably lean towards them sweeping, but I ain't betting against Minnesota anymore. We'll take a break. When we come back, speaking of the Pacers, the postmortem on Indiana. Let's look at what they've got coming up, what they did over the year, and a lot of Kings fans, little green with the envy of the Pacers. Totally understand that. We'll go into why next.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
Hagen Oaks Demo Days is in the home stretch, and this is your last chance to register for an individual fitting appointment with the manufacturer's fitting staff from Ping, TaylorMade, Mizuno, Callaway, Cleveland, Strixon, and Zexio. You've waited many long months for the new golf season, and Hagen Oaks has your new golf gear right now. Book your individual Hagen Oaks Demo Days fitting appointment. Call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for your personal fitting. Hagen Oaks, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway or HagenOaks.com.
What is Subcontractors United? It's a list of 3 pre-qualified and licensed contractors in over 40 trades to help with your home project needs. From cabinets to heating and air to landscapers and everything in between, Subcontractors United makes finding qualified contractors free and easy with no accounts to set up. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today and experience the joy of stress-free home improvement. Save time and money at subcontractorsunited.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The countdown to Miss Twin Peaks 2024 is on. Head over to MissTwinPeaks2024.com to learn about the contest and cast your 5 votes for your favorite Twin Peaks girl.
Sacramento, Dirk Bentley is coming to town.
Hey, y'all, this is Dirk Bentley.
Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends.
This is Farmer. Take my hand, let me make you mine.
It's Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets before they sell out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light.
Seems like all this artificial intelligence stuff stirs up the age-old debate of man versus machine. Hi, it's Dan from the Good Feet store, and let me ask you, would you let a robot cut your hair? Would you rely on an app to teach a kid to ride a two-wheeler? Let's face it, some things require the human touch. People come to us seeking a solution to foot, leg, and back pain after trying all kinds of things recommended by in-store machines or website blurbs. An impersonal, generic approach to solving a problem that's unique to you. No wonder they usually don't work. At the Good Feet store, you'll meet with an arch support specialist who will take the time to learn about your needs, your feet, your lifestyle, and then fit you from over 300 models and sizes of arch supports, designed for pain relief, better balance, and more comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store.
Sorry, we got the giggles off air.
I didn't think you caught that.
Oh, I know. I 100% did,
Okay.
and I could
There was
not.
no acknowledgement.
Nope, there couldn't have been, dude. Because guess what?
What?
Isn't the biggest nightmare any broadcaster has?
Yeah.
The
Giggles
biggest
at the wrong time?
Giggles at the wrong time.
Yeah.
We've seen it before.
Yeah.
The wrong time, and anyone who's ever gotten the giggles knows, like, it's like a hiccup. You can't stop it.
Yeah.
You only hope to contain it.
Back when we had updates, there was one really bad one that I had.
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, just stop.
Oh, do we have? Hold on, is this audio of Styles at the? Let me see here at the Republic here. Let me see. Okay, I can't understand what he's saying, but he looked into it though.
He did.
From everything I heard, it sounds like our guy Alan Styles did a great job over the weekend.
Of course, he did.
I cannot wait until we get to talk to him.
Yeah.
Today. We're sharing Bill Walton stories today. He was asked in 2018 about Nikola Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
He's a beautiful player who plays a mental game. He has what seems to have been lost in the world, which is peripheral vision. When you walk down the street in life, when you drive a car in life, when you ride a bike in the world on a street, it is staggering the lack of peripheral vision. But Nikola Jokic is the antidote to so many of our problems in the world. When you see... Only Bill. When you see someone like a Nelson Mandela or a Martin Luther King or a Mahatma Gandhi, someone who sees the future before anyone else does, knows how to get to where they need to be, where they want to be, that's Nikola Jokic. Happiness begins when selfishness ends. In a game that has been taken over by incessant dribbling for yourself, Nikola Jokic is such a breath of fresh air. And it's his imagination. Watching him play basketball is like watching Bob Dylan come up with a song.
Same.
And anyone else, it's like, What are you talking about? But with Bill, find you someone who describes things like Bill Walton does.
Yeah, I remember that, I don't even remember how many years he was with the Kings, maybe 2 to 3. It wasn't a terribly long run. But he had everything from, I remember there was a shot taken and missed by Francisco Garcia. That was the worst shot in the history of basketball, which, of course, it wasn't.
All right.
And then he had one where he was describing Robert Horry, who I think at the time was on the Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he's the greatest inbounder in the history of Western civilization. And you went, that's not too much hyperbole. That's just as an inbounder. And I can't even remember a significant inbound that Robert Horry has ever had, but he called him the greatest inbounder in the history of Western civilization.
Honest to God, I think Bill Walton lived hyperbole.
Yeah, but that was fun.
Lived in it.
Yeah.
Also, on today's edition of You're Old, and by you, I mean the royal you, somebody who was born the minute this happened has now been drinking legally for a year.
Bibby has the open shot.
Tough to hear. That was the Bibby shot against the Lakers. Many believe, I think for the most part, most if not all believe, biggest shot in Kings history. But can I say this? What was a bigger pop? The Mike Bibby shot right there, or Kevin Huerter versus the Jazz? It's pretty close.
Yeah, it was Bibby.
You were there for both.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was Bibby.
Incredible moment.
The Pacers are no more. I mean, they still exist, just not in the playoffs. Pascal Siakam was their biggest in-season acquisition. He is their biggest off-season question.
Free agent.
He's made overtures, and both have that he'll be back, but my God, if he's not.
Yeah, and remember, that goes back to a story involving the Kings. Like, the Kings were reportedly interested, then came from, like, Siakam's camp that maybe he wasn't as interested. Like, if anybody signs me, I'm not trades for you. I'm not going to sign there. And then the Pacers do it, and it's like, yeah, I'm happy here. This is where I want to be. Wait, what? So I don't know, but he did seem happy there. He did play well there, and you don't trade for him to not sign him. They got to do everything they can to sign him.
They have to, because oh boy! In fact, I'm trying to remember what the big name was.
As far as what?
Well, you had Pascal Siakam. I try to remember the entirety of the trade.
Oh, right.
When it happened, the Raptors get 3 first-round picks along with Bruce Brown.
Yeah.
And you feel like that was a trade the Kings could have gone. I honestly think the Kings would have done that had Siakam's camp not leaked that out.
Mm-hmm.
And I still want to know why Siakam didn't want to come to Sacramento.
Yeah, I don't have a great answer to that. And so now if he returns, which I'm assuming he will, Indiana doesn't have a first-round pick. I think they have 3 second-round picks. They've got most players signed. And I thought this again, and I said it when Indiana was here during the year. I don't entirely mean this, and I know they will never do it. This may be a crazy thought, but watching them over Game 3 and Game 4, is this that crazy of a thought to you? I think they could honestly trade Tyrese Haliburton. They'll never do it.
They won't.
He's their face.
Totally.
But watching Nebhard play continuously and TJ McConnell, like, he's better than those two.
Yes.
They're different. Now,
Yes.
what Boston didn't do, like, Boston was attacking him. So he has some defensive liabilities. Offensively, he's gifted. But my point being, and I can't think of a great example, but if you somehow traded Tyrese Haliburton for Jimmy Butler, Anthony Davis, I don't know, someone else who's got some experience, who's a little bit older, but like
they're better
with
I
Nebhard
know.
and like what they've got.
That's
like
so weird.
They won't do it.
They won't.
But I think they should think about it.
You know, did you know Tyrese Haliburton's getting a raise next year?
I do, a significant one.
He made $5.8 million this year.
Yeah.
He makes 42.3 next year. And by the way, making the third team All NBA. Now he will eventually at some point be the highest paid player in the NBA. I think one of the years he's going to be eligible to make over $80 million.
What?
Something like that in like the future, like the end of his contract.
Oh man, I'm out of cash.
I just wonder if they're even internally ever even thought of that thought process. But there's people now they're talking about, like, could Paul George come back? Could they do something else like that? Are they that close? Now, they played Boston really well, But I feel like going into next year without any moves yet, I don't know that I'd pick him as the second best team in the East. I don't think I would.
Well, I can tell you this, just counting up, including Siakam, the amount of monies they will have available next year, they're going to have over $70 million in contracts coming off the books, including Siakam. And Siakam's is 38 million of that 70. But they're also Doug McDermott's 13, almost 14, TJ McConnell, Daniel Tice. Frickin' Korkmaz, he's coming off. James Johnson, Corey Joseph. I mean, they got a lot of money available, perhaps. But obviously, you got to re-sign Siakam. That's going to be 30 plus a year that's going to be a 4-year at 120, 150, something like that. I'll tell you the other thing during the series that was a little weird too was the way Rick Carlisle played and didn't play TJ McConnell.
Yeah.
That was up and down.
Yeah.
And you saw that, by the way, I was really surprised that wasn't called a flagrant foul last night.
I couldn't believe that. Strike to the head.
Right. And everyone agrees Jaylen Brown didn't mean it.
Right.
There was no wind up.
Flagrant one, though.
But that's like the definition of a flagrant one.
Yeah, I don't throw him out of the game. I say, you should get a reward here as far as a free throw on the ball.
That's it.
And instead it was an inbounds on the sideline.
That was strange, man. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. It'll be interesting for Indiana.
Because it's still to this point, I feel like maybe Milwaukee will start the year ahead of them in most people's minds. Maybe the Knicks, even who they beat.
Yeah.
Miami, if they do something, I don't know. But Indiana should feel great about this year.
They should.
But again, I wouldn't be surprised. They were the 6th seed. What if they're 6 again? And but they get out in the first round. I could see regression.
Well, I'll tell you, you and I can analyze this all you want. It's going to take a day or two probably of the Pacers, and their afterthoughts and postseason, interviews and all that. You know who I would like to hear from on their offseason, though, that could make a difference is Gonzalez Law.
Well, you will.
I will.
Yeah.
This break?
Yeah. It's coming up.
I'm sticking right here. We'll be right back with that. Also, who's hot, who's not. Let's go streaking right after this.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sackdownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on sacktownsports.com.
Hey, you never know when you may need someone to represent you on your behalf. And if you're ever in that kind of situation, then you want someone you can trust and someone that's going to work for you. Now, I'm sure you've seen plenty of lawyers on TV that just, want you as one of their many, many clients. Well, that's a way to do it, but that's not the way they do it at the Gonzalez law offices. They just rush through these processes here, those lawyers on TV. There's no connection. You're just one of many cases, and then on to the next one. Well, how about someone that's in our community, and how about someone that cares about you, cares about the result? It's a reflection on them, and they want people to keep coming back. I'm talking about Jonathan Gonzalez at the Gonzalez Law Offices. He's right here in downtown Sacramento, and he doesn't just count you as one of his many clients and just to say, I've taken care of this many cases per year. He's about results. And so he will connect with you and help you in an area of need, whatever that area might be. Now, if it's a wrongful termination case, maybe there's a car accident, expungements, whatever or wherever you feel you're in the need of representation, I suggest you contact SAC Legal Defense or call them at 916-304-9187. Again, that's the law offices of Jonathan Gonzalez at saclegaldefense.com or 916-304-9187.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want to plan you're happy with. You can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can say. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
The Summer Starts Here sales event is on now through Memorial Day at your Toyota dealer. Hit the road in a brand new Toyota truck and explore new trails on any terrain. The time is now, so don't miss out. Right now, get financing as low as 0% APR on 2024 Tundra Hybrid or up to $2,000 cash back. Or check out the all-new redesigned 2024 Tacoma. Hurry, Toyota's Summer Starts Here sales event ends soon. Toyota, let's go places. Offer available through TFS to buyers with premium rated credit. Tundra Capstone models only. Excludes TRD Pro. N6324.
Elevate your golf game at Timber Creek Golf Course in Roseville. Just named to the prestigious Golfer's Choice 2024 Top 25 Public Golf Courses in all of California by Golf Pass. Timber Creek offers an unparalleled experience. Our revamped practice facility features a grass driving range, expanded putting greens, and a chipping area complete with sand traps. Whether you're a pro or just starting your golf journey, Timber Creek is the place to be. Visit us and discover why we're the talk of Sacramento and beyond. Unwind and tee off at Timber Creek Golf Course.
What's hot and what's not. Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot.
And what's not?
It's not good.
Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company and second opinion partner.
Who is hot?
Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum with a Y.
He's the fourth NBA player to score 20 points or more in 8 straight road playoff games and win all of them. He joins Hakeem Olajuwon, Michael Jordan, and LeBron James, who did it 9 times.
I mean, and who are these people yammering about Jason Tatum?
That's right.
Right?
All they're doing is yammering.
They're just yammering. By the way, Bronny James is scheduled for 10 workouts with NBA teams, but he's declined all of them except 2, the Lakers and Suns, per Shams Charania. Phoenix is legitimately considering taking Bronny James at number 22 overall.
With hope of getting LeBron?
And teaming in with KD.
Okay.
Who is not?
The Pacers. In game 1, 2, and 4, the Pacers had a 90% win probability in the fourth quarter and still got swept by the Celtics.
Chokers. So we won the trade.
Oh, speaking of chokers, the Pacers were 0-4 since Tyrese Haliburton wore that choke jersey of choke sweatshirt after the Knicks game.
I wrote this yesterday. Dave, did you see how he was dressed yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
He looked like that's what I said, the counselor you had in high school that always said he believed in you.
Dork.
He's
had some interesting outfits.
Yes. I mean, it's not the outfit. What do I know about fashion? But like, he didn't need glasses. That's the one that always bothers me, or the people that wear the glasses that don't need them. Why?
Fashion.
Again, I'm wearing a pink shirt. Like, who am I?
I know you like Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm. All right. Hey there. Well, how about we go streaking? Can't wait to find out who I took Friday. Let's go streaking.
It's time to go streaking.
We're going streaking!
Who is the Nostradamus of MLB?
is a longtime partner of Bill Walton's, and so he's been posting memories today. Said Bill would text me during games I was broadcasting and pretend he didn't know I was doing it, but still ask if I was watching. And so he posted some of his texts. These are all from Bill Walton to Dave Pash. I hope you're watching this Knick Cavs game. Superb. Check it out. Still time. Hopefully the announcer will reset the scene for you. Enjoy, BW. Again, Dave was calling the game. Are you watching this masterpiece, UCLA at UW, on ESPN? I have no idea who's calling the game, but the guy is stealing your lines. I have no clue. That is true, but theft plagiarism is not right. The inequity of it all. Damn it, I'm sorry. Oh, excuse me. Darn it, I'm sorry to have missed that. I was working all day. Where was the game? Who won? Who is this? Are you watching this Rams-Arizona football game? Wow. Now this is some football. Boom! Again, Dave's calling the game. And finally, I hope you were able to at least see part of that Knicks Heat game. Superb everything. Wow, I'm lucky to have seen the whole thing. Wire to wire. The Knicks are right there. Please watch more basketball. It's good for you. Good luck. Have you been traveling or flying at all? Oh, God bless you, Bill Walton.
All right, I found your pick.
Okay. I'm going to take of the San Diego Padres. Dave? Guy who killed me last year, but he's had a year off now for me, Luis Arias. Oh. By the way, I was just about to say something super important there.
You're going to talk about, I think, Tony Gwynn for some reason.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I have. So on Friday, the Yankees destroyed the Padres 8-0. Luis Arias got up 4 times. And?
I already know.
You suck. Sorry, it's over. It's over now. The streak is over. It's over, ladies and gentlemen.
Luis Arias is it him or Judge that gets you?
No, it's Arias more than. Remember,
yeah, because Arias is amazing.
He's I think the only games in his career he hasn't had hits are like the 8 games I've picked him.
Yeah.
All these stats, he's right. Chris was. I went into this whole thing about like how close he and Tony Gwynn are in their careers through their first like 500 games or whatever. And it's ridiculous. Like Luis Arias is this generation's version of like Tony Gwynn and Wade Boggs. Like he's the best pure hitter in the game. And I swear to God, I'm like 0 for 9 with him, dude. I hate him.
So who's your pick today?
Screw him. Just hate him.
Make picks today.
You know what I'm going to do? Fernando Tatis, who's his teammate, just to show that he'll get a hit.
Okay.
I have all the confidence in the world in Fernando Tatis.
I'm going to take from the Cleveland Guardians, Jose Ramirez.
I'm going to take from the San Diego Padres, Arias.
And he'll get a hit for Chris.
He'll get 5 hits.
You want to bet on something? Yeah, he'll get like 2-3 hits. What a dingleberry. Luis Arias. Luis Arias. Got him. No.
Okay. Well done.
We'll take a break. When we come back, remembering Bill Walton. I told you the spittle story earlier. Jason, you had a chance to work with the man as well. We'll remember the great Bill Walton next.
Harrison Barnes plays here.
Harrison Barnes drives it, hammers it. The Black Falcon soaring into the night sky on a Monday evening in Northern California.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
What is Subcontractors United? It's a list of 3 pre-qualified and licensed contractors in over 40 trades to help with your home project needs. From cabinets to heating and air to landscapers and everything in between. Subcontractors United makes finding qualified contractors free and easy with no accounts to set up. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today and experience the joy of stress-free home improvement. Save time and money at subcontractorsunited.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
Massive Memorial Day savings now at Maida Chevy with $12,000 off MSRP on every new Silverado half-ton 5.3 liter in stock after rebates. $12,000 off every Silverado LT 5.3 liter at Maida Chevy with at least 5 at this price. Massive Memorial Day savings up to $12,000 off MSRP exclusively at Maida Chevy at MaidaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters. Together, let's drive.
Now available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. Best trade in 2010 model year or newer. N6324.
Made a great deal at Maida.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
Just want to, it's 9 a.m., 1 hour left. True story, during the last break, I was downstairs. I was briefly speaking to our general manager, the head honcho. It's kind of like 1 foot in the door.
Oh, man, I'm on a cab.
And that's what I hear whenever my contract comes up. And poor Alan happened to be walking by. And so I pulled him in to the office, and I pitched them both on my Styles and Watkins 9-2.
Uh-huh.
I think I was thinking about it.
Yeah?
Yeah. 100% went over really well.
Sure did.
Everyone was all for it.
Who did it go over best with?
Well, I would say it probably went over best with Alan because he didn't dramatically react like our GM. You just don't want to work 4 hours. I was like, that's correct. I do not in the summertime. And I think I speak for Jason and Well, I guess it wouldn't affect Chris at all. Chris would still have to do what Chris does.
Like some people, or quite a few people now, have 4 10-hour days.
Yeah.
To have a 3-day work weekend.
Yeah.
What if we could have, certain times of the year we could have like the trade-off? We'll give them the extra hour now, but we can take an extra hour later.
I would happily give up an extra hour between now and September.
Maybe 2 hours.
And then give it back to me once football starts. Heck yes.
I don't think you guys are thinking correctly. What says that we have to stay doing a sports show? What if we go down the hall and do KNCI for a morning?
Yeah.
And have them talk sports.
We know you like your sports.
We have tried to do musical hosts before. They never go for it. I actually think in July we should run classic rock on Kate's
or Christmas music.
Or Christmas. Christmas music always does well.
Christmas in July.
We can find a sponsor. That'd get some notice.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like Barrett Sports Media, the industry magazine, would write like, what a stunning strategy by KHTK Sacramento. It's SacktownClassicRock.com. They changed their playlist. I'll DJ.
You were a former DJ. You can hit the post.
51 minutes nonstop KHTK music. That was CCR of Green River. Right now, here's Aerosmith with Ragdoll.
Living in a movie.
Living in a movie. Coming up next, we've got John Tesh tickets. Yeah. All right. Bill Walton. And by the way, shout out to everyone listening right now. That's like, you guys are bitching about working 4 hours. We get that's the bit. It's okay. You guys will work. We're just being silly. Bill Walton never worked a day in his life, at least not post NBA. It always seemed like he was just wherever he was is exactly where he wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to work with him a little bit.
What a treat, right? I have a story similar to what you had the first time, the time you interviewed him at center court.
You spit on your lip?
No, not exactly that. But I remember it was Kings Jazz game 1, first time the Kings made the playoffs since whatever, 95. That first run with Adelman and Weber and all them. And he was doing the game for NBC. And I remember doing a pregame interview with him. And same kind of idea. It was like, I was about, like 3, 2. He's like, wait, tell me your name again, Jason. Tell me.
Yeah.
Okay. So for his own, and then it was like we were besties, right? Like the whole interview, Jason, oh, Jason, and again, I see the whole interview. It's really just Bill talking,
right?
Me just pushing him forward, and then he goes.
Bill would definitely be in our Greg Papa, Sean Salisbury, Eric Hasseltine podcast, right?
He might be the king.
I think he is,
because he can just go, and then where he goes, it's like, but he does a pretty good job of ending up back to where you started somehow,
right?
Some way. So there's that was the first time. And then, he did work with the Kings and the Kings broadcast, and I had a chance to fill in for G-Man once in LA, and Bill was doing the game with me. And it's one of the best experiences I ever had because it's an experience. I mean, there's the traditional of calling the play-by-play, pausing, letting the analyst fill in the pieces. You just have to throw that away.
100%.
Because it's Bill just being Bill, and you just kind of have to go on the journey and appreciate the journey because I think Chris has this piece of audio that I know we've played before, but it's Kings and Lakers. This is a Laker team that it's the Kobe, Dwight Howard, Steve Nash, and I think had just called a play where I'm praising Steve Nash in some sort of way, and then Bill Walton takes over.
But to watch Steve Nash feed the post, that is a clinic, a thing of beauty. That is Picasso. That is Monet. That is Michelangelo. That is Leonardo. That is Einstein. Steve Nash getting it done here. We are privileged. We are in the presence of greatness. And you too, Jason.
134 left.
Oh, just throw me in there. But leading up to that, so I believe, if my memory serves, and I could be off a coach here, but I think Reggie Theus was the coach of the Kings.
Okay.
So what was cool about this experience, not only am I working with Bill Walton, but I got one of my longtime friends, my buddy Marty, who was in Southern California, but I got him to do stats with me.
Gotcha.
So we're courtside at Staples. We're sitting on the court, and Marty's going to do stats, but I'm like, so I get him a credential, and I'm like, all right, and he's great, but I'm like, just don't get noticed. Just, I'm going to have to
Right.
leave. I have to go interview Coach Theus, but I'll be back.
Right.
And then, we're good. You'll be with me the rest of the day, and we're good. So I interview Reggie Theus kind of in the bowels of Staples Center, and I'm coming out, and I'm like, what is Marty doing?
Oh, no.
My buddy Marty's like going into like some room that I've never been. Like he's going, I'm like, what are you, by himself? Like, what?
Oh, no.
What are you doing? And he comes out with like 3 chairs. What on earth? Like, so I'm like, Marty, what are you doing? He goes, Bill Walton asked me to go get him chairs from this door, from down here. So he's now made friends with Bill Walton, and Bill, because of his back, he would have to sit on extra chairs. So Bill, like sitting courtside, towered over everybody already, but now because of his back was sitting on extra chairs. But, he's made a friend in Marty, and Marty's like, hey, go get me these chairs. And it's just the way he was with people.
And it was, by the way, it wasn't, hey, go get me these. Marty, do me a huge.
He a huge
Right.
And Marty's probably like, of course I will.
Right.
And, this is Bill Walton. And, I just loved everything everybody said about him. I said this earlier, just it's so true. Everybody felt really important around him.
Yep.
And you could have been a superstar basketball player to a political figure to a real celebrity to anybody.
Yeah.
And it was the same type of person, the way Bill would treat you. And
he was never the guy that was looking over your head for the more important person at the party.
I mean, technically, he was looking over your head.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But he was so great, so engaging. And last night, so this was great for my wife and I. We had watched the 30 for 30, but I had forgotten we never watched the the final episode, and I still had it on the DVR. And so last night we watched the fourth and final, like the capper of and I know they re-aired it last night too. But it was a good reminder. It's an amazing piece. If anybody has not seen the 30 for 30 on Bill Walton, the luckiest guy alive, luckiest guy in the world. And he's challenged by the narrator on that kind of phrasing a couple different times.
Yeah.
Because of all the fusing of the bones of his feet. I mean, just like his career was not the same. The back issues, like the kind of the end of the darkness, the suicidal times. It's like, but you call yourself the luckiest man, and then just how he would beam through that. He's like, because I am.
Yep.
And he was in some really dark places that I don't think anybody would know unless you really, really knew him. Like he makes you feel like you really know him, but I mean, those in his inner circle.
Sure.
But when you were around him, it was just such a, again, one of one, unique. I don't know anybody like him. I don't.
Same.
I mean, I just don't. And what also I think gets lost, which is really hard to do, not just because of time, but he's an incredible athlete.
Yeah.
Like he's one of the greatest basketball players ever.
Yep.
I don't think that's really talked about.
It's not.
And I don't think it's because of time. Like there'll be sadly a time when Michael Jordan will pass.
Yes.
And I think the reflection on him will be about his basketball career. And that's okay.
That's right.
That's not a judgment on him per se. I feel like Bill Walton, everything about him is about him. As a person and how he lived his life. It's really less about, he's one of the greatest basketball players to ever live. And that's not really brought up.
And isn't that great though?
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah.
Like how many people have done well enough to win MVP in their league, and when they pass, it's gonna be more on who they, I mean,
you almost have to have another career. Like you went and you became the president or an actor or some sort of other thing that you get attached to, because like I said, I mean,
Ali?
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, he really got recognized for it. But yeah.
I mean,
but I don't feel like Bill Walton's talked about that much as a basketball player.
I mean, Kareem will definitely be talked, but also I'm just trying to think. You're right. Yeah, he really, and I saw this conversation too, and it's stupid. I think there's a line of demarcation. There's going to be a lot of people. I know we have some youngsters in the audience.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of people under the age of 30 today. You're going to be tempted to say something like, God dang, Bill Walton was overrated as a basketball player. I just looked up his numbers. Let me help you out. Don't do that.
Yeah.
First off, it's tacky. Guy just died. Secondly, if you're looking at numbers, just pure numbers, you don't get it in the context of him being injured and everything else. But Jason, back to you. That one sound clip that Chris played just at the very end, like that would be you gotta make that like your ringtone or something. Just him him interacting with you like
yeah,
that was
just
so cool.
and sometimes he would just cut you off and then take it a different direction, or he would challenge you to in a fun way, in a Bill Walton way.
Sure.
Push back on me if I'm wrong. On it, just I don't know. He was really, really like I said, unique. And I know at that time it was an interesting hire by the Maloofs, where I felt like Jim Gray wasn't. They were friends because Bill Walton's friends with everybody. Jim Gray wasn't nearly as warm nor fuzzy or personable.
Shockingly.
Yeah. But, I'd been on the national stage, and I didn't feel like he felt like the outsider. And I felt at the beginning because Kings fans were like, oh, Bill Walton used to always rip the Kings. Why would we want him?
I remember that,
But I felt like he was able to turn that too on people.
He was.
Because they were around him enough, and then they're just like, man, he's just fun.
It was interesting watching the videos, and a lot of them were with Dave Pasch.
Yes.
And it's crazy the amount of fans in the background, like walking by and just like tapping on the shoulder, like, hey, Bill, how you doing? Like, who else do you do that with? You wouldn't do it with anybody.
Can you imagine Bill Walton greet you?
No.
Me neither.
Yeah.
He was like,
how terrified would you be?
I like remember the other day when I was telling you like the handful of people in this world, if they got angry at me, I'd probably start crying. It was about Tom Manley, like Bill Walton would be one. Oh my God, oh my God, you know who Bill Walton was? Bill Walton was basketball's joy painting.
Bob Ross?
Bob Ross.
Yeah.
He kind of was. People don't realize Bob Ross used to be a drill sergeant.
Yeah.
He was in the war.
All right.
And like he used to yell at people. And then he hit a point where he was like, nope, I want to be positive and fun. Oh my God. Bob Ross and Bill Walton have to have hung out at some point. And can you imagine Bill Walton and Bob Ross painting together, listening to the Dead and smoking a bunch of weed? I 100% can. And what a great moment that would have been.
Yeah.
But he just had that love of life, and also love talking about baseball.
When they bring that high, hard one in, I stand in and lean back and then just bam. And it sails away out through the universe like a radio wave that goes past Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, through the black hole, and into many other galaxies yet named.
They're laughing in the background. Yes. This is his first time ever calling a baseball game.
White Sox and Angels at the Diamond in the park.
This is your first ever baseball game doing this job, right?
This is a job?
That's true.
Well, I understand that it starts and then you play.
Yeah.
But that the offense can't touch the ball. And that the defense goes first. And that there's no time limits. And you just go until somebody says, it's over. Sounds very much like a Dead Show.
It's a timeless game.
I love timelessness. You're timeless.
Well,
I've been dead for quite a few years.
And we all may be by the end of the night. The music playing means we are actually out of time. So
and as his son Luke said yesterday to me, as far as Bill Walton's favorite Grateful Dead song, it's whatever the next one they play is. And by the way, one of the members of the remaining Grateful Dead put out a wonderful Facebook tribute to Bill. We'll read a little bit later, saying he was his best friend and over 1,000 shows for Bill Walton. I still don't understand the pull of the Grateful Dead, but I'll try harder.
Yeah, and even I don't know why I didn't pick up on this, but the end of the Pac-12 and the Pac-12 network, basically, and Bill was all over that. And Conference of Champions, just how much he loved the conference. I didn't realize he wasn't really working at the very end because, like, to me, this came out of nowhere. But obviously, we didn't know a lot of this, and I just hadn't seen him in the last couple months.
I hadn't heard a word. You hadn't heard it. No, nothing. Well, celebrating Bill Walton's life. We'll take a break. We have more memories for you when we come back. Will Dallas advance tonight? They're 1 win away. We'll discuss that right after this.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store.
Doesn't get to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say. He's good at what he does. On Sacktown Sports.
I put the Grateful Dead on last night in the backyard and was just kind of chilling. It's like I don't have anything bad to say about him. I just could never get into him. And I remember one of the first times we talked to Luke Walton at length was I think it was we were in Portland in the hotel and the conference room or whatever, and
or Phoenix.
Was it Phoenix?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, to open the
That's
season.
right. That's right. And I remember giving Luke kind of like, "Hey, you're not a deadhead like your dad." He's like, "Oh my God, are you kidding?" Yeah, I was born into it, like the whole thing, like that whole family.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a little bit different if you know the band, but I'm not the guy. Like I've got friends that love like Fish, not the food, Phish, and it's like these 17-minute jam sessions.
Yeah.
But they all say too, what did one guy say to me? Well, let me put it in terms you'll understand. Grateful Dead is like hockey. You got to go. You got to be there to witness it and experience it, and that's how you get into it.
Okay.
I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't Scott Pollard live with them for a little bit growing up?
The Waltons?
Yeah.
I didn't know. Did he?
I could have a story blended, but I know he was down in San Diego, and I thought, we heard Mike Breen's dad stay with them.
Yeah.
And Breen's, but I felt like there was a lot of people that ended up staying with them at different times.
With the Waltons. Again, Dave Pash is his longtime collaborator, broadcaster, all that fun stuff. Here's a story about Bill Walton and Chewbacca.
I just remember the last game we did together, February 1st. We're doing a game at USC, and I bring George Lucas comes up somehow, and I said, "Yeah, how was your audition for Chewbacca?" And not only did he go with it by saying he auditioned and didn't get the part, but he then said that Chewbacca basically was fashioned in his image and that the character was created after Bill. And we totally made the story up. And all of a sudden, like People Magazine, all of these Hollywood reporters are writing stories, and they're finding old George Lucas quotes about how actually Chewbacca was not created in the image of Bill Walton. But he and I just died laughing how people took it so seriously. And that was my most recent memory because it was the last time I saw him. But there were so many over the last 12 years, especially on the Pac-12 games.
I mean,
remember friend of the show too, Frank Caliendo would do a great.
Oh my goodness gracious! I thought briefly this morning writing the show. I thought about reaching out to Frank. And I think anyone that knows us, including Bill and the family, I was thinking about having Frank come on as Bill and talking about how great a life he led and just having fun there. But then also that's kind of cringy. I don't want to, you want to honor the guy. We'll wait a certain amount of time and then have Frank / Bill come on. But you're right. But Frank Caliendo with Bill Walton now, that's a classic.
Bill Walton is here, along with Bill Walton. How great is this? Enjoying ourselves, enjoying the energy happening here inside the arena, outside, the beautiful, the landscape that is Arizona, but inside. How loud can it? The look on your face, Bill, is that of utter frustration.
Finally, some inspiration. The negativity that I have to fight every single moment. And now someone here who can shine the light. Someone who can appreciate the beauty of a saguaro. Somebody who knows about the grandeur of the Sonoran Desert. Somebody who knows that rivers can flow uphill.
You never know when to talk when he's going, do you? You never know when there's going to be a break. He continues to go the entire time in the three. What was that three? I wasn't even looking. I wasn't paying attention to the game.
It was a 2 by Alonzo Verge.
Here's the capper, by the way, and then we'll move on to the Chewbacca story.
Is it true, because we were showing the Georgicus building there, is it true that you were in the mix to play Chewbacca?
No,
I heard that.
Chewbacca is modeled after me.
I'm being serious. I heard that you were in the running for that you were being considered to play that role. I'm being dead serious.
You're always serious. That's one of your problems, is that you don't have fun with your life.
But you're not answering the question.
No, George Lucas is as cool as they get. And I remember the night that George and Kareem and Bill Russell and me, we were all up in San Francisco at a big fundraiser for the Martin Luther King Memorial. Beautiful play by Johnny Rice.
So since you're not answering the question, I'm just going to assume it's
what
true.
was the question?
I'm just going to assume it's true because there's.
I auditioned for Chewbacca, and they said no, but we're going to model the character after you.
You were in Ghostbusters, and people didn't know that. So again, I think there's a great chance that this is a true story. They're going to look at this.
Did you hear the other one last night? Dave Pash was mentioning he was getting ready to. He had done a college game, and he was getting ready to interview Steph Curry for an NBA game. And Steph's like, "Hey, you didn't answer the question." He's like, "What?" Because you didn't answer Bill's question last night. He's like, "I don't, Bill, I don't remember it." Bill had asked Dave on air if he had ever been inside of a volcano when it erupted. He goes, "No, Steph, sorry, I did not answer that."
Bill's one of a kind.
Yeah.
Man. I've said that about 50 freaking times today, but he is one of a kind. We only have one more clip here, but what is this? Bears versus Huskies. Why don't I recommend it?
It usually does when Huskies and Bears get together. You ever seen Huskies and Bears fight? Because usually what happens when that happens is that the dogs come in and they nip and tuck around the Bears. We just kind of stand there and look around, and then eventually the Bears get tired of these little antagonistic Huskies. So the Bears, they just come and they just smash the Huskies. And that's what's happened right now. What are you talking about? I'm talking about Bears and Huskies, the matchup that we have tonight. And did you know that grizzly bears, which used to be predominant here in Southern California, they left millenniums ago. That's a long, long time ago. But in 1933, California's Department of Fish and Wildlife, they brought 27 bears from Yosemite to Los Angeles. And ever since, the San Gabriels and the San Bernardino Mountains, they've got a significant bear population.
A fascinating story. Meanwhile, Thomas Welsh.
It's more fascinating than those timeouts. More fascinating than that foul. It usually does when Huskies.
Oh, my goodness. As we go to break.
What are you talking about?
I love that.
That's a fascinating story.
More fascinating than those timeouts than that foul.
Something that many found fascinating yesterday. I just want to take a moment to clear it up. It's the only time we're going to mention this today. There's an NFL air quotes reporter out there that just sucks. He's just a clickbaity weirdo. His name's Dov Kleiman. He put out a photo of Mark Davis and his 26-year-old girlfriend, Hayden Hopkins. Says, congrats, 26-year-old Hayden Hopkins, girlfriend of Raiders owner Mark Davis, who is 70, is pregnant. Happy for the power couple. And there's a picture of Hayden on her Instagram holding her pregnant belly saying baby, so anyways, Hayden Hopkins has made a statement today. Reports of Mark Davis being the father of my child are wildly untrue. I was pictured sitting next to him at a game in 2022 and have endured false rumors of a romantic relationship since. I was just a guest sitting in the owner's box with other friends. These continued media stories are negatively affecting what should be my happiest days. Joey and I are excited to welcome our baby in the fall, and I'm just going to take a leap and say Joey is her boyfriend / husband. But that just because I'm not gonna lie. The amount of times I saw it posted, I was like, God, do I even talk about this tomorrow? Mark Davis having a baby with a 26. Jeez. Well, there you go.
There you go.
Don't believe anything you see on the internet or read. Also, will Dallas advance tonight? We'll talk about that next, along with what to watch. And we'll get to crosstalk with Styles and Watkins, soon to be 9-2, right here on Sacktown Sports.
Kevin Herter plays here.
It's Herter. He's been hot. He fires. He's still hot. Kevin Herter from downtown has a 15-point first quarter.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It is Tuesday. You're out the door, a comfortable start. Widespread 50s this morning. As we head through the afternoon, mostly sunny skies ahead with a light southwest wind. Highs today will peak in the mid-80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
In a world where everybody and their mother makes a primed trim board, contractors have to ask one question. Do I know what's under the primer? Available at just about every lumber yard you can imagine. Vintage trim boards are made from lodgepole pine. That's the stuff telephone poles and railroad ties are made of. It's durable. It's straight. It's been doing the job for generations. Manufactured right here in the USA. Ask for it by name. VintageTrimboards.com.
Hagen Oaks Demo Days is in the home stretch, and this is your last chance to register for an individual fitting appointment with the manufacturer's fitting staff from Ping, TaylorMade, Mizuno, Callaway, Cleveland, Strixon, and Zexio. You've waited many long months for the new golf season, and Hagen Oaks has your new golf gear right now. Book your individual Hagen Oaks Demo Days fitting appointment. Call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for your personal fitting. Hagen Oaks, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway or HagenOaks.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our clients' portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more. And then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make the switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of those spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
My father was a career United States Air Force pilot, and Memorial Day is a reminder of all he and so many others did for our country. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now at the annual Memorial Day sale, everything in the store is on sale. Everything. You'll save 10 to 25% on all living rooms, to sofas, to sectionals, to dining rooms, to bedrooms, to home offices, and so much more. Everything is on sale right now at Naturewood Home Furnishings Memorial Day sale. Whether you're looking to lighten the mood in your living room, brighten up your bedroom, or tighten up your home office. It's all available for you at savings from 10 to 25% at Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop the area's best selection of quality furniture at Naturewood Home Furnishing, off Highway 50 in Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Sam, how do you do? Give me 5.
Bleed black and purple. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on your local sports leader, Sacktown Sports.
Check my pulse.
So here's what Nate just said. I'm 100% saying it. On my kids, I have to. No! Nate straight up says, on God. No! You know what happened to me over the weekend? My jet ski caught on fire.
Yes. I asked him what was the best thing that happened to him last week.
What?
I'm sorry, but my jet ski is currently on fire.
On fire!
He has a jet ski. Ooh, I'm Nate. I have a jet ski. I feel like he said something else too, but I can't remember it during the break.
Yeah, something else.
Something else?
We actually have audio of him on his jet ski.
Do we?
Whee! Whee! Whee!
So we know this. Nate, the director of Bubbles, has been got hit by a Prius and on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And what was the star he landed on? Anyone remember? Who was it?
Danny DeVito.
That's right. And his jet ski caught on fire over the weekend. That's scary.
Those are two things that have not happened to me.
Look, I found the place your life is going, in the garbage.
What to watch? You say here, Jason, you know what's funny? You're not going to believe this. Maybe you will. I have not seen the Bill Walton 30 for 30.
Love it.
I'm going to watch
4
it.
parts, but it's really, really good.
It's 4 part. Is that because they did an interview with him?
I didn't know all the other Walton boys either.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's Luke.
Yep.
Tito. Billy.
Yep.
And Jonathan.
Yeah.
Probably not.
But just him growing up, his UCLA days, his protesting days, a lot of his, he's got a lot of it's his early Blazer crew that's there.
That's cool. I'm going to watch that.
Broadcasting at the end. Yeah. Celtics, how he's treated there, leaving the clip. Oh, man, does he crush Donald Sterling?
Does he really?
Yes.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. And not surprising because Bill Wood, he had no problems crushing those who needed to be crushed.
The one part that I did not know of his life was there was a time when he was back with he had some injuries with the San Diego Clippers, but he went back he was going to law school and he was playing like 1 day a week. He had worked out a deal and I can't even imagine that in this day and age. He was a law student, but also played 1 day a week for the Clippers, like a Saturday night game. That sound crazy?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
He's one of a kind.
Yeah.
I know I keep saying it. I don't know what else to say about it. You know what? I will throw that on tonight.
Was it the 30 for 30 that goes into him? Coach Wooden telling him not to get arrested for the protest, write letters instead.
Yeah. He still got arrested.
So he wrote a letter to Richard Nixon saying that he should resign. And he showed it to Coach Wooden, and Wooden's like, "You're not going to send that." He's like, "Yes, I am." He's like, "This is how I feel. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask the President of the United States to resign from the office." And like a couple weeks later, he resigned. Like, obviously, it wasn't him.
Maybe it was.
Maybe it was.
Oh, I've lost Bill Walton.
It was worded so beautifully.
It was.
Convinced him.
He said, "You know what? I wasn't going to do it, but look at Walton over here."
He made some pretty good points in that letter.
That's a really good Nixon. Minnesota, Dallas, game 4 tonight.
Whee!
Is this a must win for Minnesota?
Maybe. Yeah, let's go with yes.
The best team in baseball, the Philadelphia Phillies, come into San Francisco to play the San Francisco Giants, and let's see
Winners of 9 of 11.
Yeah, let's see what's going on there. Let's see how hot the Giants are.
Yeah,
and then the A's and the Rays in Tampa Bay. Yeah, I mean, for a capacity crowd of 4.
Man,
yeah, it's woof. Not going to be the most attended one.
No.
I wanted to save this to the end. This is towards the end. This is we'll finish up. This is a longer, shockingly, Bill Walton story. This is Bill Walton talking about how the 80s era Celtics went to go see the Grateful Dead for the very, very first time. And the way Bill tells stories is well, I'll let him tell it. And when I say I'll let him tell it, I'll hope that I think that's in there. There you go. We good? Yes? Okay.
One day at practice, Larry Bird and Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish and Dennis Johnson, they cornered me. They came over and said, "What's going on, Bill?" I said, "What do you mean what's going on? We're just getting ready for practice." And they said, No, Bill, something's happening here in Boston because there's all kinds of people with tie-dye T-shirts on. They all got long hair and they smell funny. What's happening here? I said, "Well, the Grateful Dead are coming to town." They said, "Really? Grateful Dead? Jerry Garcia? They're going to play in Boston? Do you know those guys, Bill?" I said, "Yeah." Then I know them. I'm going to go to the concert too. And they said, "Well, do you think we can go too, Bill?" I said, "Let me check it out." And so I go out and I asked Ramrod and Big Steve and Robbie Taylor and all the guys if it would be all right if some of the Celtics would come. And they said, "Sure, no problem." But I had to explain to everybody in the Grateful Dead that this was, in Boston, and the Celtics were just icons, and they couldn't really go out in public because they were so popular. So they said, "We'll take care of this, Bill." And so they built this special little enclave right on the side of the stage where, unless you were on the stage, you couldn't look into this little area. It was all curtained off and everything, just a perfect little place to watch the concert. And everybody that night met at Larry Bird's house, everybody, that is, with the exception of Danny Ainge. His wife wouldn't let him go. And so here we were at Larry's house. We met at Larry's house, and he arranged for this incredible fleet of limousines for us to all go to the concert together. And so we get there, and I'm introducing all the guys backstage. Jerry, here's Larry, Kevin, here's Bob Weir and Phil and Robert Parrish and Dennis Johnson, literally everybody just going around. And then Cameron comes up, Cameron and Robbie, they come up and they say, "Okay, it's time to start the show. Let's go, you guys." And so they take us up on the stage first, and the lights are all dark, so you can't see anything. And we sort of sneak around and we go in the back, and then they bring these coolers full of our favorite drinks, milk and water and 7-Up, and put them right in front of us. And then the Grateful Dead come up on the stage, and the crowd just goes nuts. It's the most electric atmosphere, and everybody jumping up and down, the anticipation, the excitement. What could be better? And these guys in the Celtics had never seen a Dead show before. I mean, hundreds of shows for me. And so while the band is warming up and taking the last few notes, the excitement is just so palpable. Your skin is just goosebumps, electric as can be. Jerry Garcia, he steps forward into that little shaft of light, right where his microphone is, just to make sure everything is perfect, making sure his foot pedals are all there. And then he looks over into the enclave, and he makes eye contact with Larry Bird. And he looks at him, gives him a nod, a little wink, and he says to him, he says to him, "Larry, this is what we do." And then he turned back to the audience and just blew it out. 5-6 hours. Unbelievable. The crowd just absolutely on fire. The show's over. The band races off the stage. They got to get to the next show. The lights come on. Everybody is just wild-eyed as can be. It's so charged up. And the guys on the Celtics, they look at me and they say, "Wow. Oh my gosh, can we come back tomorrow?" And they've been going ever since.
That's so great.
He just knows how to tell a story.
He does.
For 5 to 6 hours they played.
5 to 6 hours. Also, 80% chance that they didn't all ask if they could go. Bill
made them go.
Bill made them go.
Yeah.
Put out a statement yesterday too about Bill Bill and that whole thing as well. Their experience together, I should say. He will be missed. Gosh, he will certainly be missed. And I will throw on. I'm not going to watch all 4.
Yeah,
right,
but once you start one, you'll be intrigued by the story. It's really well done.
We'll take a break. When we come back, Crosstalk with Styles and Watkins and Celebrity Birthdays brought to you by Crumble Cookies. We'll do all that next.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Styles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit KHTK.com.
Whitey here reminding you that not all gas grills are created equal. Bring out all the delicious flavors in your grilled meats with the amazing Napoleon Prestige and Prestige Pro line of outdoor cookers. My Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro with features other grills cannot match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Made with premium stainless steel that boasts quality and a lifetime warranty. I may never want to cook indoors again. Napoleon grills and accessories are now available at your nearby Amy's, Ace Hardware in Sacramento, and now El Dorado.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, it wasn't exactly a headline when the A's acquired infielder Abraham Toro from the Brewers in the offseason. After all, Toro had just 18 at-bats in the big leagues a year ago. But as we near the end of May, his emergence has become a good story. Entering the week, Toro is number 8 in the American League in batting and also in the top 20 in hits and on-base percentage.
Want more speed? Well, Xfinity just increased their internet speeds, and they're faster than ever. It's time to get more out of your internet with faster speeds from Xfinity. Now through June 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for only $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. That's double the speed for the same great price. Click, call, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and other charges extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
Sacramento, Dirk Bentley is coming to town.
Hey, y'all, this is Dirk Bentley.
Saturday, September 28th at Hart Hill Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends.
This is Bonley.
Take my hand, hey, it's Dasha.
Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets before they sell out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The countdown to Miss Twin Peaks 2024 is on. Head over to MissTwinPeaks2024.com to learn about the contest and cast your 5 votes for your favorite Twin Peaks girl.
Our Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
It's time for the news of the day.
The latest headlines, the biggest stories, hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, this is none of those things. And now, here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
Hi. Hey. How nervous. Yeah. you doing?
Good. I'm nervous now.
Why are you nervous?
He gave me a look. Nate before said, "You're going to kill this cross." What's going on?
What's
going on?
I don't know what he's talking about. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Before we get started, I want to finish off a topic I brought up earlier. So, a few breaks ago, I was downstairs, just 1 foot in our general manager's office, and poor Alan just rolled up at the wrong time, and I couldn't resist. So I pulled Alan into the conversation. Alan was looking at me with such either trepidation, disdain, or a combo of both that our GM actually remarked about the look on Alan's face. And I brought up an idea. Have you shared this yet? No. Okay, I brought up an idea, and Alan actually didn't say no. He said, talk to Chris Watkins. As did, I believe our GM said that too. Oh, yeah. Didn't our GM say ask Chris?
I don't think so.
So you don't even know what it is.
You're not going to like it.
Why do you say that? So Jason and I were talking, and Jason came up with this idea, or me, I don't know, one of us. You know, as we're vets, and we're always trying to help the fastest growing show in the country grow even more. And we talked about you guys coming up and doing the mornings. You know, when we're on vacation here in August. What could be better than that? Than announcing starting Monday, Styles and Watkins 9 to 2, Monday through Friday, an extra hour of show for you guys. Get the last hour of our show.
Yeah.
You get another hour to expose yourselves to the audience. That sounds weird. And on top of that, like, remember, like, not that long ago, your dream was to break into radio. It was all our dreams, right?
Yeah.
But now it's like you're getting an extra hour of prime time. How could you say no to that? I say we do that till like the 7th of September. Yeah. Just to give you guys a chance to really hammer it home.
It'd be hard for us to say no.
I mean, first off, you're welcome, but honestly, it's what we try to, kind of like you doing the MCing over on Saturday, which I heard went really well. I saw the video, and you're welcome for that too. But the whole thing, it's just I feel like I said to our boss, I said, Chris is the last guy you need to ask. He's the hardest working man at the station. No chance he says no.
Correct.
So, all right.
Well, especially since you guys are doing the 5 to 9, right?
Huh?
That's what's happening.
No,
You guys 5 to 9.
No, we'd be getting into Whitey and Kyle's show. They're on till 6, 7 every night. We don't want to take over their hours,
right?
Plus, that makes us a night show. We would do the 6 to 9 here.
Nice.
Okay, well, more on that. Get imaging. Probably run this by Jose. Nate, how do you feel about it? Nobody cares. Alan,
get a new jet ski.
That's a great point to say.
I need a jet ski.
Yes. And maybe a lesson in being uncouth.
Nate almost fell down the stairs earlier. Like, legit.
If only.
You say again?
Yeah.
Like, wait. This has happened before? Oh, man.
Yeah. Nate's been hit by a Prius. Nate's jet ski caught on fire. You think he hasn't fallen down some stairs?
That's true.
So how was it, Alan? We're all very proud of you.
It was great.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was a great weekend in general.
How did the game turn out?
It ended up being a draw.
Yeah.
But, the energy was great. It was really full in there, and I just had a great time with everything.
They hadn't lost all year.
They didn't lose.
Still haven't lost.
Still haven't lost. Just saying.
Actually, there was the closest thing I've seen in a football match to a brawl.
Yeah?
It was pretty hardcore. Yeah, it was a chippy game.
Gatorade, orange slices flying everywhere.
It was a great time, and thanks again, Dave.
Oh, why are you thinking me? I had nothing to do with it.
Thanks again, Dave, for the
Scott Moak was really the win beneath your wings there.
That's right. We spoke for a good time there. It was just fun. It was just fun. Only way I could play. Then went to the Sacramento County Fair.
You just ingratiating yourself to the.
It was a great time. You know what I ate?
What fried?
My deep fried Snickers.
Yeah.
It was so good. So good.
How does nougat handle itself in deep frying?
Yeah, this one normally it's on a stick. This one wasn't on a stick.
The problem with Snickers, it just looks like a turd. Like, it really does.
So you're out on Twix?
Especially,
what about any of them?
Baby Ruth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baby Ruth's the all time. That's the caddy shack. Three Musketeers.
Crunch bar is funny.
You know what's the most underrated candy bar, in my opinion, honest to God, is the whatchamacallit bar. That's a hell of a
Is it like
or
Hershey's, Almond Joy?
Kiss
I don't know
my
what you're talking about.
Huh?
Hershey's, Almond Joy. What are you talking about?
Almond Joy is great. No, what? Oh, I see what you call it. It's got Krispies, chocolate, other things. Nobody talks about what you call it. I'm going to bring in some
Is there? Do they make
cook it on the hot plate?
regular size Mr. Good bars that aren't part of the Halloween? Like,
no,
miniature
they're
ones?
king size good, Mr. Good. There
I've
are.
never seen one ever.
I will look. No, there are. I think you have to give it like a Thrifties or something. While you were gone, by the way, I agree. You ever had a Loco Moco for breakfast?
No.
I made a commitment to make this Loco Mocos.
Oh, yeah,
No, not here.
Why?
Because in the studio smells.
You said it didn't smell last time, and we made biscuits and gravy.
No, we did say it smelled.
You didn't say it smelled the time before that. We made egg sandwiches.
Weren't we supposed to like make a kitchen for you in the garage?
Yeah, and they, shockingly, engineering didn't follow through.
We didn't need
to make a. Well, that was you.
Oh, look, that's my signature.
Yes.
That's my signature.
That's great.
What an important paper.
No.
Joy.
Joy.
Stepping on my joy.
It's more of a Watkins move.
He's the one that
What did I
said,
do?
"Yes, it smells." It smells like what? Awesome Loco Moco. No. It's a shared workspace. We'll do celebrity birthdays if that's okay. Yeah, the guy's the MC of the Republic for one day, and now he owns the place. My goodness. Right. Birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends. And nothing brings family and friends together better than crumble cookies. I can't memorize it. It's so weird.
You got to start.
Ever since Whitey's jingle.
It really is true. It is Whitey's fault.
We have audio too from my pump up speech. It will be played during.
Pretty great.
Oh, why can't we
during
play
the
it?
show.
Oh, we should play it.
You gotta listen.
Okay. Wow. Celebrity birthdays. Who's turning what
Happy
today?
birthday, Jerry
Garcia. Would that be
Seinfeld.
perfect? Jerry, not Seinfeld. Jerry
Springer.
Ferrera.
South East.
Jerry West. The logo. Jerry's 80.
He's 82.
78.
84.
Chris for Los Closest, 86.
He's old.
Wow.
Happy birthday, Navarro.
Bowman.
Yeah,
Scott.
Hey.
Navarro Bowman. These are always funny because they're younger than you think. Even though he's been retired for. He's 36.
That's a good one. I'm going to go 37.
Say 34.
35.
We have a correct answer, and it is Carmichael Dave, 36.
Sailed it.
Happy birthday, Percy.
Arthur.
Yeah.
Who's there's a Harry Potter guy named Percy, wasn't there?
Percy Jackson.
Percy Jackson.
I know you like Harry Potter.
Percy Arvin is, say 44. University
37?
University of Florida.
I'll say, 34. Great Viking.
You know who else is great Viking? Eric. Viking.
Just the Norseman.
Yeah. Christopher Lott.
36.
We have a correct answer. It is 36 again.
Wow.
36. Happy birthday to Kirk.
Cobain.
Cousins. Herb Street.
Herb Street. Good one.
Gibson.
Irvin. Oh, this is going to make me sad. Kirk Gibson's 67. His knees are 90.
I'll say 70.
69.
7.
We have a correct answer. Carmichael Dave, 67.
Great Dave.
Wow.
Great Dave.
Let's see. Who else can we throw in here? Happy birthday, Glenn.
Taylor.
Rice.
Yeah.
Glenn Rice. Michigan.
Senior or junior?
Good point. I'm going to say Glenn Rice is 53.
54.
Beat Seton Hall, Ramiro Robinson.
Is it senior or junior? 53.
Nice. Correct answer. And it goes to Chris Watt.
57. They beat Ramiro Robinson and Seton Hall.
Ramiro Robinson was on
That's what I meant. No, Terry to Hair.
Correct.
I say the whole thing. Apparently, I don't know anything. What's coming up on your show?
Biggest thing is Mike Brown contract extension. We're breaking it over.
Oh,
that starts at 10:45.
Oh, all right. Well, until then, other stuff. So until they break that down, it's Thousand Washington. Chris, thank you. Bye-bye.
The only place you'll find Kevin Herter is Sacktown Sports.
Herter's open, steps into three. He's got the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Herter, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with no